Welcome to the BitNile Grand Prix of Portland here on JB Motorsports and the Grid Network. What an amazing season we've had so far. Taking a look at so far the race winners this season, you can see in the first half of the year, Alex Palou and Carl Kirkwood dominated each other in victory. Palou has had 8 wins this year, Kirkwood's on 3. Then we got Pato O'Ward winning 2 races in Iowa and Toronto, Jake Dixon winning the 1. In terms of the driver standings, Alex Palou leads 590 to Pato O'Ward on 469. There's a chance that Alex Palou could be crowned a 4-time champion here this weekend. Well, trackside for us is Joe Samaniego and Nicole Fry, and they were at the media briefing on Thursday.
From Portland, Joe Samaniego, Nicole Fry from Fans and Focus Media. Nicole, it's great to have you this year. It's race weekend, INDYCAR, NTT INDYCAR Series, and it looks like we're going to have a special guest. Jacob Abel is coming out to join us right here, so I'll pass this over to you as Jacob Abel is here.
Perfect, thank you, Joe. Hi. Hi, Nicole.
Jacob.
Nice to meet you. All right, ready?
So ready.
Sorry to spring all these questions on you. How are you feeling ahead of the Portland IndyCar weekend?
Yeah, very good. This is a track that I've always loved. I was able to get the win here last year in the Indy Next Series, so to finally race it in IndyCar in the big series is really special. I think the fans always rally around this event a lot, and it's something that's super cool.
Yeah. So you've had good luck here in the past. It seems to be a good track for some drivers, a not so great track for others. What are you looking forward to this weekend as far as the track is concerned?
Yeah, I think everything, honestly, just kind of taking the challenge of learning it in a new car. I haven't driven this track like most tracks this year in an IndyCar, it being my rookie year and everything. So, yeah, just trying to adapt as quickly as possible. Qualifying is very, very important here with the tricky turn 1 and 2. There's always a lot of action there, and the further up the grid, the easier it is to stay out of it.
The Shelton Chicane kind of approaches you quickly. It's sometimes a little scary. So as far as good results for the weekend, what would your ideal result be? Another win?
Yeah, that would definitely be great. Expectations aren't that high this year as they were last year. Just being in the IndyCar Series is obviously much more competitive and a lot of really, really good drivers. So to us, I think just a solid weekend, feeling like we've maximized our potential, kind of start to finish, would be a really good one. We're nearing the end of my rookie year, so to try and get some good results would be awesome. Maybe transferring into the Fast 12 and qualifying would be really cool. A top 10 in the race would be spectacular. So we'll aim those as our goals.
It is a fantastic goal. And as far as the end of the season approaching, what are you most looking forward to in your off season?
Yeah, I think just to finally take a breath. This year for sure has been super, super intense. We've raced like 8 races in 7 weeks or something crazy like that throughout the middle part of this season. We were able to get a weekend off last weekend, but yeah, it just all happened so quickly, to be honest. It feels like just yesterday the start of the season, and now to be already basically to the end is pretty wild, but excited to get things prepared for next year for sure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic weekend. It was so nice to see you here.
Thank you.
All right, Rhinus VK, welcome back to Portland. This year, you got a podium, you've had some strong runs. How would you rate this year so far for you?
Yeah, I think this year's been really good so far. I was without a seat until 2 weeks before the season started, so that was, to have already 7 top 10s in a season, 3 races to go, a podium, and I think it's been really good for us. It's been really fun. For me, my first year with Dale Coyne Racing has been very successful, so I think everybody around me is very happy.
So you're coming to Portland, you race here, of course. When it comes to the difference between Dale Coyne Racing and your prior team, are you noticing like a big difference, especially since you switched from Chevrolet to now Honda?
You can feel a difference, yes. It still drives like an IndyCar, but there are some differences. I do think that we have to find out a lot of stuff tomorrow in practice to really be able to tell how it's going to be. But I think this team is so open-minded that we can work against adversity really quick and really get results even if it doesn't look promising at that time.
And you got, of course, Jacob Abel, brand new teammate this year. Has he sort of looked up to you for like some tips and advice, especially since he, being a rookie, had some misfortune with the Indy 500, but just gaining his experience here at IndyCar?
Yes, he's been asking a lot, and I've been giving him some tips. You know, he knows how to drive. He's won before in Indian X. He's done really well. It's just a few little tips and tricks that I found throughout the years that I tried to give it to him, because it's just nice if you know stuff and you don't have to find them out. So there's a few things that really make sense in my mind that, you know, I'm trying to just give him as advice, but for the rest it's been all pretty straightforward. You know, we're both doing our things, and yeah, he's been a great teammate for me. It's been a lot of fun too.
And last question, of course, as you mentioned, very late until you got to deal with Dale Coyne Racing. Must have been an uphill challenge, learn like the chemistry between you, the team, the engineers. What does it say about this team and the ability to, you know, just, you mentioned the word resilient, to just come together and get some really great results, considering some of the bigger teams out there like the Penske's and the others, and yet here you are, you got a podium earlier this year, which got a lot of people talking.
Yes, no, I think it's been really good. It's my off season. I've been working all off season towards St. Petersburg, that first race, even though I had no seat, but I just had the faith. So I was ready. When I got signed, I was ready to go right away. And also we had an engineering overhaul halfway through the season after the 500. So that was something to cope with. But now I work with Michael Cannon, who is a very, very experienced and very respected engineer in the series. So we've been doing really well so far with both engineers this year. I've been working really well and having a lot of fun. So you know, it's still, we have to learn a lot as a team. We can still improve, but I think we've exceeded ours, but also everybody else's expectations.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So Portland is obviously kind of nearing the end of the IndyCar weekend. How are you feeling going into this race?
I'm feeling really good. I think we've been really strong at all the road courses this year, and we've just been getting stronger and stronger. So I think going into this weekend, we're feeling confident, and you know, cars were really good here last year. Alex got second, so I think as a team, we're all feeling pretty confident in our cars.
So as a team, as a driver, do you have any goals for the weekend? What is your ideal walk away, I'm going to be happy?
I mean, top 10 is what I've kind of been aiming for all year, every race. So I want to qualify fast 12 and then finish in the top 10. So if I accomplish that, I'll be happy. But, you know, anything more would be great. I think we've shown great pace to have top 5s and podiums at other tracks. So if we could now kind of looking for that win, that'd be incredible. So just kind of looking forward always.
So this track can be a little bit tricky for some drivers. There's that very intense Shelton Chicane right off the first turn. How do you approach a track like this as a driver?
It's difficult. I mean, there's so many different sections to it, and it's a track that tends to really beat up the tires quite bad. So it's difficult to race it, and it just makes it a difficult strategy race. So it's one of those races where it's kind of harder to pass, but on strategy you can do some things to make up positions. So yeah, it's just it's an interesting one. It's always a different challenge for us. So having that nice mix of tracks throughout the IndyCar season is very nice, and I think this is one that kind of stands out, as you just really need to make sure you've got pace.
So final question of the evening, kind of a fun question. If you could take any track anywhere in the world and go and race your car this weekend, where would you like to be?
Any track?
Any track.
I mean, we already race IndyCars at Road America, so that, I mean, that's always my favorite track, but like to race an IndyCar at Spa would be pretty incredible.
That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend. It was so nice to see you here in Portland.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, you've won twice in Portland. How are you looking forward to this weekend? What are you looking to do on track?
Well, yeah, very much looking forward to the weekend. Definitely had a rough season for all of us at Penske, but love this track. Won here last year. Always enjoy it. Definitely flows well for me with my driving style. So you can never just assume you're going to be quick because it's such a tough series. But yeah, hopefully we're running at the front this weekend.
So you mentioned that this track can be kind of tricky, that Shelton Chicane kind of comes out of nowhere. What about this track suits your driving style so much?
It's just a very flowy track, sort of off the brake, flow mid-corner speed. I really enjoy those styles of tracks. I mean, I like everything. I like all sorts of tracks, but in particular, these usually suit my style. Love the chicane on the back straight, turning in 6th gear, no brakes, nothing. So big commitment. So yeah, it's actually the first track I ever drove at in the US. So
Really?
it's got a special place. It was the beginning of my first time I drove an IndyCar, first time I ever drove in the States. So yeah, very nice to win here.
Does it feel like coming back home a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, because I race here in Champ Car, you know, these places all become very familiar. You get used to the same places you stay at. Yeah, just any racetrack feels like home, but, you know, I really enjoy this area. I like the city, and it's, yeah, it's always a good crowd.
So last season you made a comment that sometimes drivers should kind of take the moments in and really appreciate them. What about this season have you appreciated, despite the fact that you guys are still hunting for a win?
I still just appreciate the fact that I'm doing it. You know, even when you're having a bad time, you're getting paid to do what you love. You know, you can't compare it to anything else. You know, there's nothing else you're going to do in your life that you're going to enjoy as much as this. So yeah, it's you really got to have the right perspective. You really do, even on the bad days. I mean, you're still racing an IndyCar, and not many people get to do that. So it's just tough to ever make it to that point, but let alone be able to do 20 seasons and, you know, win as many races as I have and championships and Indy 500. Like, you're just lucky and fortunate to have done that.
And it's been a very long season. What are you most looking forward to in your off season?
Well, you know, what I'm looking forward to in my off-season is kind of knowing what I might be doing next year. That's definitely one thing, to get that sort of pressure off and just know what I'm doing, whatever that may be.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend in Portland.
There you go.
So Nicole, we had an opportunity to talk to all the drivers today. Overall, I'm sort of impressed. It seems like everyone's just talking about, you know, when it comes to the next season, this race just, I'm not seeing like a whole lot of like pressure. Is that a little bit of a surprise to you, or do you feel like everyone's just sort of at the season end and we're just gonna race, try to do the best we can?
I think everyone is definitely kind of at the season's end. I think most of them are not really fighting for a whole lot this weekend as far as the championship is concerned. So for them, getting through the weekend, getting some points, getting a good timing and a good result, and as minimal damage as possible is going to look fantastic for them. So I think they just feel like they can show up at a track where most of them have driven before, and they're going to be good to go.
And you say minimal damage, of course, the Shelton Chicane, one of the most treacherous ones. We were out at Portland International Raceway earlier today. All right, so Nicole, we're standing out in front of the Shelton Chicane. Considering how this looks pretty simple, we've seen so much chaos here. Is it sort of impressive of just how this simple-looking corner could be such a deciding factor for the weekend?
It is always amazing how surprising the Shelton Chicane is. Every single race weekend, it seems to be a little bit different as far as how the cars behave, what the drivers prefer, and just how chaotic this makes the race weekend every single time. It's definitely a little bit trickier than it looks, and definitely a little bit sharper too, so it's always something to keep an eye on.
And it's always amazing that it's not just rookies that make mistakes here. We've seen past winners, past champions. A few years ago, it was the first year when Alex Palou got his win. He got in a little bit of trouble, but avoided it. But had a penalty, had to come back from the back towards the front, get his win. When it comes to this year, are there any drivers that stand out that might be a little bit cautious? First driver that comes to my mind is sort of Robert Schwartzman, the rookie. Very talented, very fast, but I feel like this is such a treacherous corner.
It is. I think with this corner, the rookies are always in a little bit of danger because it's so deceptive. It is so deceptive. And I think we even had a quote last year from Alex Palou saying, you have to give 99% because if you give 100, you're going to go off. And that means it is always going to just be a little bit uncertain as far as what we're going to expect. I would definitely say the rookies are high up on the list of people we need to keep a close eye on. But honestly, any pinching, any squeezing that happens, especially out of the first lap, that's something we're going to want to watch very closely.
Now, of course, with that first lap, they moved the start further back a couple of years ago. We've seen some good, clean starts, but before, we saw some chaos. I know there's only 2 drivers left in the championship. You got Alex Palou, Pato O'Ward, everybody else just wants to go out there, get a win, a good finish. Do you think that could increase the danger of somebody just being super aggressive, entering, knowing that I don't care about a championship and I don't care about Palou and O'Ward?
I don't know. I'm betting the opposite, actually, because I think a lot of these drivers who are in championship running are just going to want to get through the race. They're going to not want to cause as much damage as possible. They want a good start. They want a clean finish. And I think our championship drivers will want that as well, because they know it is make or break in Portland. We could have a championship winner crowned here, and they're not going to want to do anything to mess that up. And I think they'd rather sacrifice a little bit on the first couple of laps, maybe take it a little bit slower, learn the track a little bit and how it's feeling, versus risking it right out the gate.
It's going to be very interesting to see the Shelton Chicane, how it's all going to work out. So when it comes to Portland International Raceway, of course the Shelton Chicane we've talked a lot about. But of course there's those S's. It's almost like a rhythm section. We have the long backstretch, which has a little bit of a curve. We saw you could get in trouble there. Scott Dixon crashed out pretty hard last year. And even the last few corners, I know a different series, but Nick Cassidy, of course, leading with a few laps to go, crashed out. Isn't it a bit of a surprise how for a 1.9 mile track, there's a lot of opportunities for mistakes here?
There are. It is a very unexpected track. I think it is a very technical track that some people are not expecting to have out here in the Pacific Northwest. I think it kind of catches drivers by surprise, especially if they're feeling very relaxed, possibly going into the end of the season where this race is typically situated. I think overall they just have to be on their A game. They do have to be very careful because, yes, that Shelton Chicane will come out and it will bite you.
And of course, one of the big things, it was a surprise to me when Alex Palou came here his first year at Portland International Raceway. He went out and won. Of course, earlier today we were at the pits. So we're standing here in front of Alex Palou's paddock area. Of course, Chip Ganassi Racing. Everyone's following what this team is doing. I mean, Alex Palou got a couple of wins here. He's clinched a championship here before. Do you feel like this is just another race weekend in the Alex Palou world?
It's hard to say. It is hard to say. I think he has had a phenomenal history of doing well here at this track. But like we talked about earlier, the Shelton Chicane can kind of come out of nowhere and bite you really fast and really hard. And so I think it's going to be a test of his strength and his stamina to see if he can pull it out and get another championship win here at Portland. But I don't think it's a guarantee, especially not with Pato O'Ward right behind him.
And of course, Pato O'Ward's paddock is just right over there. So they're not far behind at all. And they're going to be trying to bring on some pressure. He got a best finish of 4th place here a couple times. Do you feel Pato O'Ward qualifying is going to be the big key indicator of whether he could keep this title hopes alive?
I think so. I think every moment for Pato O'Ward this weekend is going to be absolutely critical because while there are technically 3 race weekends left, he's going to have to do well here in order to keep his championship hopes alive. And I think he's going to be paying very close attention, as will his team, to every single turn, every single quarter, and every single timing.
It's going to be very interesting because you got, of course, those two, everyone else mathematically not in it. So they're all going to be going just for race win, pride, secure a seat for 2026. Overall, do you think this is going to be one of those races where we might see a lot of cautions? Because it seems with this race, we either have a lot of cautions or hardly any cautions, like 1 or 2.
I think it will kind of depend on how many drivers are still hunting for a seat next year. I think if they really are looking for an opportunity to either move teams or stay with their current one, they're going to want to have something to prove. They might have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're going to want to make sure they have an income and a seat for next year. And if that's the case, then I think, we could see a couple more cautions. Maybe some drivers aren't, being as safe as normal, trying to impress their team or their future team. But we'll just have to wait and see, I think, specifically with qualifying.
It's going to be very interesting qualifying. That's going to be the big key decider, I think, when it comes to this race weekend. So, Nicole, we're coming to Friday tomorrow. Of course, we're going to be at the track again, practice session, and we have a lot of support races as well, too. Overall, when it comes to this event and how big it is for the Pacific Northwest, is this something where you feel like, especially this year with, again, a championship potentially being decided, this is like one of the must-see events?
It is, and if you're a local fan, this is definitely something that is so accessible, it's so fun, and I think IndyCar in general is just a really good gateway motorsport, for lack of better terms, to get fans involved and kind of into the sport for the very first time, whether that is just as a child or as an adult. It is definitely something for everyone, and I think Portland International Raceway just make it so welcoming to everyone. It's so good to see IndyCar back here, and I think it does so well at this track.
And speaking about child, earlier today we talked to a rising racing star that's going to the Nationals right here. Standing here with Caleb Canfield, local racer here. You're going to Nationals. Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming race in Nationals?
It's coming November, and it's in Las Vegas. It's the national championship.
Now, what kind of cars? Are we talking in go-karts, or are we talking like some other type of single-seaters?
Go-karts.
Go-karts. Now, of course, you've been racing quite a lot. What year did you start racing?
The end of 2022.
2022. How old were you when you started racing?
I was like almost 7.
So, 7-year-old, you started racing. Since you started, what's your favorite part about racing when it comes to motorsports?
Going fast and having competitors.
Last question, when it comes to big goal, there's a lot of options. Formula 1, INDYCAR, NASCAR, even rally. Is there a particular series you like to go into someday?
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Nicole. Well, it's been a lot of fun here. I know I was going to ask how you're enjoying everything so far when Jacob Abel showed up. Overall, how's the day been for you?
It's been great. The weather is beautiful here in Portland, which is not something we can always say. The drivers are excited, the teams are excited, and overall IndyCar here in Portland is just such a wonderful atmosphere. It is so good to be back on track, and we cannot wait for the rest of the weekend.
We cannot wait for the rest of the weekend. We encourage everyone to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our coverage. We'll be on the air again Friday to recap Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, special Grid Live pre-race, and then the wrap-up show, approximately 90 minutes following the conclusion of IndyCar and NASCAR, whichever one ends later. For Nicole, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Loads of news stories bubbling around at the moment. Will Power be in IndyCar next year? Is David Malukas going over to Team Penske? Loads to get into during the race commentary as well. The main thing that could be decided today is the championship. This is the scenario as they play. Alex Palou can clinch if he finishes ahead of Pato O'Ward, and if he finishes second and scores at least 1 bonus point for leading a lap, even if O'Ward wins and gets maximum points. Pato O'Ward can only continue this championship on for the further 2 rounds if he outscores Palou by 14 points or he trails by 107 or fewer after this race. Well, let's get what the drivers thought then. Back with Joe, Nicole and Jackson Lambros from Friday practice.
From Portland International Raceway, Joe Samaniego, Nicole Fry from Fans and Focus Media. What a day. Let's start off with practice. That had just wrapped up. Christian Lundgaard the fastest, and we have Alex Palou, Felix Rosenqvist. I think a lot of people anticipated Felix Rosenqvist to be fast. He typically seems to be fast, but I wasn't anticipating him to be third quickest. Alex Palou, the championship leader, everybody expecting him. Christian Lundgaard, I know you talked to him earlier today. Did you get a sense that he was going to come out with this kind of pace ahead of his other teammate, Pato O'Ward?
No, I think it was a surprise to everybody, even himself, just potentially a little bit, based on the way he was kind of speaking a little bit earlier when we had the chance to talk with him. I think, honestly, the whole top 10, in some regards, was quite surprising, but given how hot this weather has been and how unpredictable the weekend is still going to be, it kind of meant that, practice was still up in the air, and I think that's exactly what we saw this afternoon.
It was a very hot practice session. We saw a lot of fast times, lap times here under a minute for 1.9 mile circuit. One big surprise, Scott Dixon going off the track, that final corner. My goodness, for a person that has had only 1 win this year, for most people, I'll take a season with a win. But for Scott Dixon, I feel like it's a little bit of disappointment. Do you get a sense that Scott Dixon's probably more excited than anything? Like, hey, I got to win, but I can't wait for the season to be over.
I would not be surprised by that whatsoever. I think everyone is ready for the offseason, especially after the weather we've had this afternoon. I think they're going to be very thankful for hopefully a couple of cool races potentially next. But I think as far as his season is going, it is not what he is wanting. I think he is definitely used to a little bit more out of his car, and so I think he'll be pushing harder as the weekend goes on, just trying to get some points wherever he can.
And of course, with the practice session in the books, we had an opportunity to talk to some of the drivers following practice.
Yeah, it was okay. I think it's a very crowded track, so it's hard to get a clean lap there, even in practice, even when they break the groups up. So that was the biggest thing with me. I think we went out way early on the reds and just kind of got caught behind people on the blacks. But I think the balance is good. I think we made a lot of progress this session, so I think we'll be all right.
Well, yeah, it was chaotic on that first half. I mean, it was tough to try to get a lap in and understand where we were at, but thankfully for that group running, spaced everybody out, and we got the answers we needed. I think there's still a little bit of time to find. Hopefully we could put it all together and catch up to that number 10 car.
Yeah, great. I mean, it's still, like, you never know who had, like, clean laps or anything. But, yeah, for us it was good. Got what we needed from practice, learn a little bit. And seems that we have a fast car, so let's see what we have tomorrow.
Yeah, we started out great, and kind of everything we did made it worse. So we know what we should go to. That's how we started. But, yeah, just go a different direction for practice too. I think we have a good car. We should explore a little bit more the opposite way of what we've done.
Car feels strong. It's nice and warm. It's going to be warmer tomorrow, so we'll see how the car behaves there. It's all well and good. I think we were reasonably quick, so yeah, it'd be cool.
So Nicole, one of the big things, of course, practice session at the end of the book, but we heard the drivers talking about the heat, and you've been mentioning the heat today. Very hot conditions today. Overall, when it comes to the impact, what are we looking at?
So we're looking at some unpredictable strategies because I think some teams are not going to be prepared for just how hot this race has been. I think this is the hottest race we've ever had for IndyCar in Portland, and we've been racing here since 1984. So it is going to be a warm one for sure. I think we can also expect to have some unstable tires potentially. I don't know how any of the teams are really expecting their tires to react given just how much aggregation we could potentially see. It is going to be tricky, but I think they're trying to crunch the numbers right now and figure out what their best strategy is.
Because I know today we're not in the 90s yet, and they were saying the track temperature was over 110 degrees. We're looking at the forecast still showing 96 degrees on Sunday. That's looking like we might be in the 120 range. We're talking some serious heat out there. We have the two tires compounds, the soft tires, the red tires, and you mentioned the strategy. With the lack of grip, do you think this can just make that race wide open, even if somebody has a poor qualifying effort on Saturday, which will be warmer than today, but it's not going to be 96 degrees yet?
Yeah, I think if some of these drivers can really manage their tires, this track is so sticky. When I went out and did a track walk earlier in the weekend on Thursday, your shoes were just like sticking so horribly. It's going to be very interesting to see what these tires do, and if the drivers can wrangle their tires, I think they have a very good shot at making some unexpected moves.
That's crazy. I can't imagine trying to do the track walk Sunday when it's 96 degrees. The tires are going to be sticking. I mean, shoes are already sticking. It's going to be really interesting. Now, earlier today, Nicole, you had an opportunity to talk to several drivers, and I talked to a couple of the Indy Next drivers. Here are some of those interviews.
The weather this weekend is quite hot. How are you preparing for that as a driver and as a team?
I mean, it comes down to the work you do really before the season with the physical training. Our cars are really tough to drive, no power steering and just high G-forces, so it's really tough in general, and then the heat just adds another layer to that. So seeing the forecast for Sunday is definitely going to be hot and sticky, but also now, like, when you're deep into the season, you're sort of quite used to driving the car, so it's going to be tough, but I'm not too worried about it.
And as far as the infamous turn one here, the Shelton Chicane, what is your approach to that out of turn one, or out of the first lap?
Yeah, I think, qualify as high up as possible usually helps the turn one chaos, but it's definitely tricky. It's always a place where there's a lot of incidents. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's no real, go left or right. It's no real, way of doing it or avoiding it. You just have to be a bit lucky, I think. And, yeah, qualifying high usually helps it.
And is a high qualifying position your goal for qualifying? Is it your goal for the weekend, or are you just going to kind of hope for a midfield so you can let the chaos in front just kind of handle itself?
No, I think it's a very track position kind of race, so I think you want to qualify. For me, in the top 6 will be a very good place to start the race, and will put us in a good spot for Sunday.
Wonderful. And fun question, when you put on your race suit, do you go left leg first or right leg?
I think left.
You think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll think about it now when I put it on before fresh practice.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much.
It's been a bit of a crazy weekend so far. How are you preparing as a driver, especially given the weather conditions and it just being so scorching on Sunday?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, seeing what the car does on the practice sessions and then qualifying. It's going to be a very different thing when we show up to the race day. I think the conditions are going to change a lot, and we never know what the tires are going to do. You never know if some compound is going to do a lot better with 20 degrees more on the track, or it could be even more, just because the heat goes exponentially up whenever the ambient is up. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to make the race tougher, and especially strategy and tire choice. So I'm excited.
So you've won here twice. You're hopefully going to win here twice in Portland. We'll see. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. What do you think is different this season compared to your last win? What has been more challenging? What has been a little bit easier?
I think this year we just had such a good car and good team, and like everything has been going so well for us, like strategies, and we've been having that sparkle of luck whenever we needed that, and that made a big change. So I just think that it's been a magical season so far, and yeah, can't wait to get more.
So have you had a favorite moment of your season so far, given that we're kind of nearing the end and you're kind of starting to think about off-season and next season as well?
I mean, it's hard to top the Indy 500 win in May. That was the best moment. That was the biggest moment and the happiest moment for sure.
And final question, fun question. When you put on your race suit, do you go left leg first or right leg?
Left leg first.
Always left leg?
Yes, and then the opposite with the boots.
Opposite. Okay, so you definitely have like a routine down.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I did it someday, and then I just followed that.
Just worked the one time?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations on this weekend. Hopefully we'll see you back on the podium.
Awesome. Thank you.
How are you liking the weekend so far? How are you feeling?
So far, so good. It's nice and warm. Weather's nice. I got to go to the zoo yesterday, so at least I spent my time a little better than I normally would.
Any favorite animals at the zoo this weekend?
I would say the polar bears are pretty cool. I've seen tigers and lions before. The cougars were awesome. What else was cool? What's the animal called? King Julian from Madagascar.
A lemur.
Yes. There we go.
All right, Sunday. How are you preparing?
Yeah, throughout the year we've had plenty of hot races, right? So from a driver's perspective, team's perspective, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But I do think it's going to be different that it warms up so much throughout the weekend, right? And tomorrow morning for practice 2 is going to be completely different than race day. Throughout qualifying, it looks like it's going to heat up quite a lot throughout the session. So it's just trying to stay ahead of that from a performance perspective. I mean, I don't mind the warm, I don't mind the cold, so just have fun, really.
And it's your first season with McLaren, You've had some amazing finishes, some great drives. How do you feel like your season's gone so far, and what are your hopes, hopefully, for next season?
Ultimately, I think we've had a good season, right? I think we've had 5 podiums, which is already 2 more than I've had in my entire career with my prior team. So to do that in 1 year, I think just shows the commitment the team's made, into the series and the trajectory that they've been on in the past couple of years, and we want to do even better next year, right? And between Pato and I, we've had 11 podiums, which is a career high for the team in one season, and with three races to go. So a lot can still happen. Still kind of knocking on the door for the top 3 in the championship, which I think would be awesome. It does require a couple of good results to end the season, which I think is possible. We missed out on a couple of better results early in the season that I think we missed out on a lot of points there. But overall, I've been pretty satisfied.
Well, thank you so much. Best of luck this weekend. Have fun in Portland.
Thank you.
Feeling ahead of the Portland weekend, especially with the hot weather we're expecting.
Ooh, hot weather is brutal for us in these cars. I looked at the weather last week and I was like, oh, it's 70s. It looks lovely, nice and cool. But yeah, we're built for it. We can take some heat. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that does to the tires in our cars for sure, because today is actually quite pleasant, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be a lot different. Speaking of Sunday, what are you hoping for a good weekend? Like, what is your ideal outcome?
Honestly, we want to be in the top 10 here for sure. I think last year was the first race that I got to do on a road course with this team, so we have some information from last year, which is really, really nice. And yeah, we just want to have a solid weekend. I've had a lot of really weird races here at Portland. I've been on fire. I've been wrecked like 3 times. So I would just like to have something where nothing goes wrong and we just have a pleasant, solid weekend.
That sounds absolutely amazing. But Portland is always unexpected, especially that very first turn, the Shelton Chicane. How do you approach something like that?
Just basically try to avoid chaos. That's it. I mean, I've been hit there many times in my life. So avoid the chaos, try to get a little lucky, and when you come out the other side, you hope that you've made some progress.
Final question, fun question. So AMP is a sponsor of yours. When you go to a gas station, what is your go-to snack?
Oh, you know what? If it's morning time, I love a good breakfast sandwich. Give me a breakfast sandwich, maybe a little sausage and egg taco, something like that, and coffee. I need coffee to survive. So I love AMPMs. Let me tell you, when we go there, when we got these guys as a sponsor, I was so pumped because I'm a gas station convenience store guy. I need to get in there for snacks. It doesn't matter what it is, a beverage, snack. So yeah, it's an awesome partner to have.
Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend and stay cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back to Portland. I know the last time you were here, Formula E. That was pretty fun. Can you tell us how was that experience overall? Because I know we tried to chat with you, but just too busy in the paddock that.
Yeah, it was a very fun experience. I think it was obviously my first ever race and in Formula E, so it was a little bit last minute as I was the reserve driver for Nissan, and Oliver, unfortunately, he couldn't make it over here. But everything, I think I really enjoyed the experience. It was very tough. It's a very tough championship, really competitive, but I think I learned a lot, and obviously it was a great experience to my career.
Now, you're coming off a great weekend in Laguna Seca. You're coming back to Portland where you got experience, of course, a different car. Do you feel pretty good of a chances of another win here?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a track that is really nice. I really enjoyed driving this track. I think last year, even in IndyNext, we finished quite well the race. But it will be tough. I think it's getting tough every race with the level of the championship. But we just need to keep working hard, and hopefully we can come out on top.
Overall, when it comes to ovals, that's something for a lot of drivers, a big learning curve. How do you feel in the ovals?
I feel pretty confident. I think we have a really good car overall. In Gateway, we had a track record. Obviously, we led almost all the race and just lost it in the end. But I think we have some stuff that we need to work on my driving as well. But hopefully, we can have a good competitive car and fight until the end for the championship.
And last question, when it comes to next year, the off season, what are some of your big goals? Are you going to be doing like any other races?
Find a seat in INDYCAR. I think that's the main goal, but we all know how hard it is to get there next year. But no, hopefully just keep it in shape. If something pops up, I'm always ready to race. I love racing, so whatever comes, I will be ready.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Miles, good to see you again. I know overall, how do you feel this season has been going for you with the win and so on?
Yeah, it's been going really good. We want a little bit more out of it. We're hoping to finish top 3, but maybe a little bit further up the order in the championship by the end of the year. I think these last 3 races will be pretty crucial for us in a positive way. Luckily, we got a win before we hit these 3 races, so we have some momentum, and I think we can get a few more. With the right execution in the events. But overall, I think the team is really happy with the performance so far.
And you got Portland, then of course Milwaukee, Nashville. How does Portland rank? Is this a track where you're most excited about, least excited about, or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this track. I mean, first of all, it's very nostalgic for me to come back to Portland all the time. Since winning the championship in 2023 in USF Pro 2000, and I do really love the track. There's not a lot of elevation, but the corners do flow really well, and that's something I really appreciate about this course. So yeah, and like I said, just the city being super nostalgic for me, but also I do like the city in general. Portland's, I think, a really beautiful city. It's dynamic. Different, but I do like it, so I love coming back here, and I'm very excited to do this as the last road course for the season.
Now, IndyNext, a lot of competition this year. The competition level has been so intense. Of course, as you're climbing up the Indy ladder, does it just always seem to amaze you how much more and more competitive it gets, or do you just anticipate okay, it's going to be just as competitive as the other series because everyone is trying to get to that next level?
Yeah, I think the expectation isn't a shocker. Really, I've kind of always expected this level. It's like the top tier world class drivers. There's some over there in Europe and some over there here, and that's what we're racing in. So it never really caught me out in a shock. If anything, I appreciate it because I consider myself that level. And it's nice to race against other people that level as well. And I think most of us at the front have a good deal of respect for each other. So if it's not me winning, hopefully it's someone like Dennis or Kyle winning, because that shows the level of strength we have as drivers. So yeah, no, I love the level of competition that's in this series.
And of course, with the off season coming around the corner, any big plans you're going to do? Look for any other motorsports events to participate in?
I want to do some IMSA events later in the year, you know, get some more seat time, maybe in a Porsche and a GT3 and stuff. So looking at that, I'd love to do a 24-hour Daytona. That would be awesome. But yeah, right now I'm just focused on finishing up the season. Not too much in the works right now besides, you know, just making sure we focus on priority number one.
Miles, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
You've
much.
been here a couple of times. I believe you got the championship here last year as well.
Yeah.
How are you feeling going into this weekend, given that Portland is sometimes a tricky track?
Yeah, looking forward to it. A little bit sad because it's our last road course of the year. But no, look, it's always a nice place to come on the West Coast here, and the track's a bit different with a lot of right-handers, not many left-hand corners, but the left-hand corner is very important. So it's definitely a tricky track. So, you know, just looking forward to getting out there and see what we got.
And the weather this year is a little different as well. It is scorching. It is going to be boiling on Sunday. How are you kind of preparing for that as a team and as a driver with a track like this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this is the first ever time I've been to Portland, haven't been wearing a jacket, so that's definitely a weird experience. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Every year I've been here, it's been cooler conditions, which affects, you know, the car and the balance on track. So yeah, don't really know what to expect. I'd prefer it to be cooler. It's a lot easier for us in the cockpit. But yeah, no, we'll see.
Yeah. As far as strategy goes this weekend, what are you thinking, especially with the weather and tire drag potentially being an issue?
Yeah, well, for us, we don't do the pit stops, so it's pretty easy for us. We hope we don't have to do a pit stop. But yeah, it should be pretty straightforward for us. It just might mean we just have to manage the tires a bit more in the race with the hotter conditions.
And final question of the day. So if you could do a road course anywhere in the world with your current car, where would you like to go?
Road course anywhere in the world. Oh, that's an interesting one. I've never driven Spa in Belgium, so that one's definitely on the bucket list. So to drive the INDYCAR around there would be pretty cool.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers, appreciate it.
So Nicole, one of the drivers you got to talk to, of course, Alex Palou, the center of attention. Championship scenarios we're looking at. He finishes ahead of Pato O'Ward, it's over. He got the championship. If he finishes second place and Pato wins, even if he gets a bonus point, he claims the championship. When it comes to this championship, really, we're looking at Pato O'Ward needing to outscore Palou by 14 points. How reasonable do you see that? Do you see that as something Pato could do? Because he did practice in the top 10, but ahead of him, Alex Palou.
It's so hard to say. Both drivers have done really well at this track. Despite the fact that Pato O'Ward has yet to actually get on the podium, he's come in P4, I believe, twice. And so he has a good history at this track. I think he can do really well. I think it is just going to come down to so many external factors on Sunday and in the next couple of races that really affect if this championship is still up for Pato's grasp. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but this weekend is definitely going to be interesting regarding that.
And one thing interesting with Christian Lundgaard practicing faster, I recall Christian was saying how the car seems to be more set up for Pato O'Ward. Now, I'm wondering, this is after all Aaron McLaren in F1 2. Do you think they might be looking at Christian Lundgaard's setup of, hey, could we incorporate this in Pato O'Ward? Or do you think Pato's team is just going to focus on do what we need to do and not overthink it and mess ourselves up?
If I was Pato's team, which I am definitely not an expert, I would say don't mess anything up. They know how their car behaves. There's going to be, again, so many external factors just with the weather alone. I think it is not worth the risk. I think they stand the chance of running a much cleaner race and a much more predictable race if they just leave things as they are, with maybe just some tiny little tweaks that you would typically see during a race weekend, but completely changing their car to potentially adjust it and mirror their other driver, I don't think is a smart move.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. The other interesting story, of course, a lot of people have been following Will Power's situation. Now, yesterday you talked to Will Power, and he brought up, like, he would like to know what's going to happen in 2026. Today we find out from Bob Pockris, who happened to talk to Will Power after we did. We encourage everyone to check out yesterday's video. You could see Will Power on the phone with somebody yesterday while you were interviewing folks. He cannot talk to teams until the end of the season, but Penske will not tell him what's the plan. He is the lead Penske driver in the championship standings. Today in practice, Joseph Newgarden was the fastest Penske driver. Do you feel this sets up Will Power sort of in an unfair situation where he can't do anything until Penske does, and Penske's saying, we might tell you after the last race of the year?
I think it's an unfortunate situation, but I don't think it's necessarily unfair. I think they knew what they were getting themselves into. He's always known that he will not be able to speak with other teams until after this season wraps up, and so I think it's just a waiting game, and he's hoping for sooner rather than later as far as some interesting news, whether he's going to have a seat at the team next year, but only time will tell, and he's just going to have to wait it out.
And one of the things, David Malukas was in the top 10 for practice today. He has been doing pretty well, and one of the things interesting, AJ Foyt Racing has been outscoring Team Penske in the points this year. David Malukas, he has a Gallagher paint scheme, and of course a lot of folks know that's one of Penske sponsors. Earlier today, we saw outside the media center, Joseph Newgarden, David Malukas, appears they were doing something together for social media. Overall, do you think the signs are starting to show that maybe David Malukas knows this could be his opportunity here at Portland with a strong race?
I think so. I think any driver who potentially has a good weekend here is going to look at this as kind of like a highlight reel moment for them, so that they can go to potential teams and say, hey, look at how much I can do, look at how much I did given the tricky conditions at a tricky track. And so I think he's definitely going to be looking at this weekend as something that he can put in his back pocket to use in the future, but I don't necessarily think it's going to predict the future.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this all turns out. We encourage everyone, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our coverage tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday with the pre-race show and the wrap-up from Portland. Nicole, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Well, before we get into the qualifying report from Saturday, let's pick up a couple of the penalties that happened throughout the weekend so far. Already coming into this weekend, the number 8 of Kyffin Simpson is to have a 6th place grid penalty for the opening lap contact he had at the Laguna Seca race. Also then coming in, Santino Ferrucci and Christian Lundgaard had unapproved engine changes, so Lundgaard got provisional pole. He now starts 6th on the grid. And also, just in practice too, Joseph Newgarden suffered an issue which prevented him from running any meaningful time. He had to change engine parts. He too drops 6 places. Here's Jackson and Joe with Saturday's report.
From Portland International Raceway, Joe Samaniego, and we have Jackson Lambros from Dive-Bomb Motorsports. Overall, it's going to be, I think, a fun day, but I think the 2 words that come to mind, hot and heavy. That describes the action on the track and the weather today and tomorrow. Let's start with the action on the track and qualifying. Pato O'Ward will be leading the field, but it was Christian Lundgaard that took the pole, but he got that 6th place penalty. Yesterday, I know Nicole and I were talking about how Lundgaard was very fast. Could some of that information go help Pato O'Ward? Do you think maybe McLaren was playing that game at all? Do you think, like Pato said, the car just came better and better as the track got hotter?
I think Christian made it really clear, and I believe you guys at home are going to hear this presser in just a few minutes' time, but it feels like there's a very selfish isn't the right word, but these guys are running their own race in Arrow McLaren. You look at some of the smaller teams, Dale Coyne, Prima, there's a lot of intricacies in sharing of setup sheets, strategy plans, stuff like that. I don't know what the papaya rules apply for when you're on this side of the pond. It seems like, though, it's an all-for-yourself driving mentality, both behind the wheel and on the stands.
Now, one of the things that Pato was talking about was the car got better and better, and we know it got drastically warmer and warmer. The temperatures got up to the high 80s here. Tomorrow it's going to be even hotter. Do you think that's going to give Pato sort of that trend continuing of the car's going to get better, or is there a limit where gets too hot and then somebody else might have a car that's better and Pato might be at a disadvantage?
I think grip in general reaches that tipping point. We saw guys in the 58s, even on alternates, a lot of guys were struggling to get out of the 59s in that final 25-minute final practice warm-up, if you will. So it gets to a point where even if we're running high 80s, guys are struggling, that grip starts to go away. You're managing tire heat. You're trying to make sure your pressures are optimal because you're asking so much more. This is such a high load track too, Joe. You're always turning. There's always some kind of force being applied to the tires. So that's going to be another absolutely crucial part of managing this race tomorrow when, again, even now it feels like such a big maybe on what that temp is going to be like come race time. But we're anticipating 5-10 degrees Fahrenheit hotter at least. And from what I've heard from a lot of the drivers, it's going to really, really potentially mix things up.
And you bring up a good point. You're almost always turning. It's really just that front straightaway, which is a drag strip. The back stretch is a curve. The S's, and of course the fearsome Shelton Chicane, which is hard on the brakes, some tight corners. For Alex Palou, he is starting 5th. So he has 4 cars ahead of him. The rest of the field, we've seen them been spread out, so they're not exactly double file, because if my memory is correct, he will be on the outside coming into the corner.
I think so.
But considering it's spread out, do you think he's going to be extra cautious because it's trouble behind him, or even somebody ahead of him, and he just got to be on his toes?
He's got to be, and I think there was an anticipation where I think at worst he had, front 2-row pace, maybe 3rd or higher. It definitely seemed that way through the first opening 2 practice sessions, but I mean, it's definitely going to be survival mode for those first couple of corners. It absolutely has to be, because if you are even working with a bended wing or some tire puncture and you're going to the back of the field, that's potentially major points coming to Pato O'Ward, who, by the way, I think is going to be really in kind of damage control mode tomorrow. He's opting to go on primaries like a lot of the guys at the front of the field, but I think he's really going to try and take this lead and run away with it, or really just deal with the cards he's got. If he's going to run in, if he comes out of Sheldon in P2, I think he's going to defend, but not do a lot of aggression to really hold that spot.
It's going to be very interesting. Alongside him, Felix Rosenquist, former teammate. The second row, very interesting.
Oh my
got
gosh.
Will Power, David Malukas, all the rumors going on. In fact, Nicole and I were talking about appears to be a social media post with Malukas and Newgarden. Thoughts on that? Do you feel like Will is going to have a chip on his shoulder, like, I really want to outbreak David Malukas in this first corner?
No, because, even you turn the dial back to last year, there was a conversation between Will and a Foyt driver, Santino Ferrucci, and I argue that a similar conversation probably happened tonight, either between the front row or between Dave and Will, of, hey, we're going to break, and whoever ends up being the first, I'm not going to fight you too hard on it, but we're not going to go for each other's throat here. We got 110 laps ahead of us. None of us want our race to end on lap 1. But, I mean, you go back to the way this story is kind of written itself this weekend, right? The potential, man, in sponsorship that we've normally seen with Team Penske running right alongside the best guy, the glue guy for Team Penske this season. So I don't think this is going to be a make or break drive, and I think some of this is a lot more shallow than maybe we've been looking. You look at Joseph Newgarden and David Malukas, by nature, they are 2 of the most media-friendly guys in the paddock. Of course, you're going to want to have them doing content, but that could be building synergy for something else, right? We'll just have to wait and see, and we're going to have to be having this conversation again in 3 months and try and figure out how big the next 110 laps tomorrow really played out in making that decision.
110 laps for Team Penske. Will Power, he will love to get that first win of the year. Joseph Newgarden, fast in qualifying, but of course a 6th place grid penalty. Scott McLaughlin qualified 13th. Of course, he's going to move up to, I believe, 12th with Newgarden's penalty. Only twice we've seen the winner come out of the top 10 here. Takuma Sato, Mark Blundell. Do you think we could potentially see anybody from outside the top 10 get a win?
If we have a weird kind of 2018 race, I think absolutely, or 2019 race, excuse me, if something has that level of chaos, for sure. And it feels like you're adding the right ingredients to that pot right now with the heat, how much it still feels like an unknown for strategy, and how this compound is really going to act in the long run. A lot of guys really, really red flag heavy set of practice sessions. This final practice was one of the few instances where guys were able to get some fairly long run data in, some fairly good long run data in. but I think it is really going to come down to, I think Shelton Chicane, lap 1, really is going to end up being that first domino. And if not, it's got to be a cautions breed cautions kind of deal where you got guys throwing haymakers into the chicane. But again, you're getting to that point where the championship is starting to wind down. I'm not sure. I think guys are going to be a lot less fangs out. We still don't have a championship decided. You go back and see that kind of crazy fangs out races. Laguna Seca 23. We already had Palou as the champion, and that's when we were going all out, like 8 cautions that race. So I could say this, and we're going to have 10 cautions tomorrow. Joe, I don't know. Only one way to find out.
Now, if we get a bunch of cautions, if you're in the back, I almost feel like that could be helpful. For Andretti Global, it just didn't seem like, I mean, Marcus Ericsson got in the top 10, but Colton Herta started further back. Kyle Kirkwood, who's usually really good at this track, especially when he was running in the Indy ladder system, not exactly a good qualifying. Do you think a chaotic race could help them out, or do they still need like the front runners really to have bad luck?
Well, first of all, let's give those flowers to Marcus Ericsson, right? Been a sophomore year where he was really hoping to turn things around and has not been the season he's wanted so far, and he's really proved himself this weekend at a track he himself has struggled at historically. So I mean, talking to Kyle Kirkwood post-practice here a couple hours ago, he seems as confused as everybody else as to why they can or can't find pace, but they like their opportunities. And he's clearly sticking to his guns because he'll be rolling off in a primary heavy back half of this grid on alternates. So he's clearly going to try and charge forward.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. And, of course, special grid live pre-race, noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific. It will be covering the INDYCAR race, plus, of course, NASCAR at Watkins Glen. Then we'll wrap it all up later in the afternoon, plus the updated grid ranking. For Jackson, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
And we are back then, ready to go in a few moments' time when the green light will commence and we will be underway for the bitnile.com Grand Prix of Portland. And I'm delighted to say that joining me now up here in the commentary box as well, all of the live action, is Tom Cairns as well, as we now move back over to live pictures. Tom, welcome to you. This could be the day Alex Palou is crowned a 4-time champion, all before he's done 100 races. All he has to do is be ahead by 108 points of Pato O'Ward by the end of today. He starts 5th on the grid. O'Ward starts on pole position. It should be easy for O'Ward, but this is Palou's season in many respects. Hello.
Yeah. It has to be said, yes, hello to you, Josh, and hello to everyone that's tuned in. In other words, in terms of what he needs, he just needs to finish second in this race, does Alex Palou, which is mathematically enough. Does not matter where Pato O'Ward ends up. So if Palou can just do his job, never mind what O'Ward is doing, then nothing else matters.
Yeah, it's been a chaotic couple of weekends as well. Let's just go through what we're expecting here today in terms of the grid lineup. If you were with us at the start of our pre-show and all the way through the past hour, you know the details. But if you've just joined us, if you're listening in on USON, or if you're skipping through the grid network to where the markers are for the good points, this is what you've missed. Yes, Christian Lundgaard did get pole position yesterday in qualifying, but he has a 6th place penalty due to engine issues earlier on in the weekend. He has now dropped to 7th on the grid. That's put Pato O'Ward onto pole position, with Felix Rosenquist alongside him on the front row of the grid. David Maluka starts 4th with Will Power in 3rd, and that's a critical situation because it's been heavily rumoured this weekend that we are going to see Will Power leave the Penske organisation and David Malukas will move in to that seat ahead of next season as well. So everyone's been wondering, where on earth is Will Power going? And Tom, Power's been in the business for a long time now. He's an Indy 500 champion. Does he want to stay? Will he stay? Or maybe is it time to call it quits for what is now getting very quickly the elder statesman?
Well, I mean, you look at Will Power at the moment, of course, 2022 champion of this series, 44 years of age, is the man from Queensland. And I think there's still some years left in it. He could well go on to do like Porsches or sports car racing of some kind, or GTs. but I think INDYCAR could well be the end of the road for him. He's been in there for a long, long time now. It's probably time for someone else to give it a go.
They've become to a circuit which should be one of his best for the season. He's won here a couple of times before, 2019 and 2024. He's also had pole position here, but when we came back to the championship in 2018. So he's got the opportunity to maybe do something in a season which has been so far winless for Penske. And Tom, we were commenting at the time at Toronto, where all 3 cars retired. It's just a comedy of errors this year for them. They are getting worse and worse and worse. They've got scandals both on and off the track. How on earth are they going to bounce back with where they are? I mean, today alone, we've got Will Power starting in 3rd. Joseph Newgarden had a penalty, starts down in 15th position. And Scott McLaughlin lines up 11th on the grid as well. And he was even outside the top 12 positions to begin with. All 3 of their cars, again, not performing.
Yeah, well, it feels like shades of McLaren 2007 all over again, doesn't it?
It does.
But they've got a lot of explaining to do, have Penske, and I think that's going to lead into a rather more challenging winter, well, autumn/winter. I mean, they've got a long break to do the IndyCar Series before they resume again next season. They've got a lot of work to do. I mean, with Newgarden and McLaughlin Power not been at their best this season, it leaves their futures in doubt. We know that Power's leaving Penske at the end of the season, but what about McLaughlin and Newgarden? How are their futures going to play out?
Yeah, because I doubt Joseph Newgarden, who was the reigning 2-time Indy 500 champion, multiple world champion in this category, is he going to stay at a team that is not performing when you've got the likes of Chip Ganassi, who dominated the last couple of years? Scotty Mack came in, of course, wanting to dominate. Won here, actually, as well, when he did the double pole and win back in 2022. So he's got an opportunity to sort of lock in and change it all around again. So we'll hold that down. We've got Tom Gaymore trackside as well on the Sky F1 commentary team. We'll be hearing him throughout the weekend as well. Also, we'll be hearing from our pit reporters of Jack Harvey, Kevin Lee and Georgia Hennebury. Up in the Fox Sports commentary booth, it's going to be Will Buxton alongside Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe, all getting set to get go as well. As I believe we've just got an information coming through, some breaking news that Omi sent me in as well, so we'll take a look what's going to happen here. Unfortunately, I have to open up the message as well to come through. With the Live Golf Chicago still in progress, the green flag for today's Portland has been moved to 3:37 Eastern. Coverage will begin following the conclusion of the final round on Fox as well. So we've got another half an hour to wait for the green flag to come out. My thanks to Omi for that. They literally issued that at 19:59. So the Live Golf Championship at Chicago once again is affecting things. So we've got a slight delay and a bigger build-up in order to talk you through this weekend's action, which is going to be very entertaining nonetheless. Well, in that case, we've got time to have a little conversation about what happened in the Indy Next race as well, and we'll show you the graphics now up on your screen. This was the results from the race we had about an hour and a half ago. Dennis Hauger, Dennis Hauger took victory on a 1:03.107. Then we got Kyle Collette in second, Miles Rowe finishing in third. But Tom, with that result for Dennis Hauger, he's now been crowned Rookie of the Year. So we know what he can do from previous championships. Dennis is unstoppable, isn't he? No matter what form he's in. He's got that sort of grit and determination. He's a good driver.
It seems to have found his feet in the right place now, as Dennis Hauger. So congratulations on winning the rookie title. Now he just wants to win it overall. I think the likelihood is that he will win it overall. Bearing in mind, it's 50 points for a win in Indy NXT, and they've still got 2 more rounds to go. So really, it's between 2 former Formula 3 drivers, as we say. Kyle Collette, who raced in Formula 3 for a few years. Dennis Hauger, the champion in that series in 2021. He is looking like the favourite to be taking the championship in that. And if he wins it, we could well see him in IndyCar next year.
Okay, let's check in then with Tom Gaymore, as we're going to be hearing in about 7 minutes' time from the Fox Sports team. Let's check in with Tom.
Highly charged second row, Will Power and David Malukas, and then of course Alex Palou and Alexander Rossi on the third row. Really good lap from Alexander Rossi in that Ed Carpenter racing machine. Just missed out on the Fast 6 shootout. There's the man of the moment with his dad on the left-hand side in the white shirt, Peter Rossi. An up and down year for Alexander Rossi, but would love to finish in a strong position here and finish that year. Head to 2 ovals, of course, Nashville and Milwaukee to close the year, where we know the Ed Carpenter car's strong. Rossi down in 18th place with only 2 top 10 finishes to his name. Has a real chance to better that here today. Well, here is the 12th turn, 1.964 mile circuit from the Sky. Permanent road course as well, the last one on the NTT IndyCar calendar. We're north downtown Portland, Oregon, northwest of the United States of America. We've seen some of the closest IndyCar race finishes in history here. Hosted IndyCar races since 1984, but back on the calendar since 2018. And since IndyCar returned here in 2018, 3 Honda wins, 3 Chevrolet wins in the last 6 races. Team Penske with 3 wins, Chip Ganassi Racing with 2 wins, and Rahal Letterman Lanigan chipping in there with a win 2018. That was Takuma Sato, of course. So what to expect from this 110 lap race around this 12-turn 1.964 road course in Portland? We think it's going to be a 3-stopper, but the 2-stopper is an option here at Portland, but real question marks over the fuel save. All eyes on the likes of Scott Dixon, but you're going to need considerable yellow for that fuel save, not just in the hands of the driver. You're probably going to need 15-20 laps of yellow to make that count, so expect it to be a 3-stopper. But there is that caveat: yellow at turn 1 on lap 1, get off the blacks. We think this is going to be a red race, but that's not, as we so often know in IndyCar, a dead certain. Get off the blacks and try and fuel save and make it on 2. Will that be an option for some of the drivers? But with the fact that you need so much yellow, that'll become a default strategy. If that is the case, expect a lot of teams and drivers to switch over to that strategy. But we think the optimum is going to be the 3-stopper. And then we look at the tyres. Of course, you have 2 sets of tyres, the alternate and the primary. You have to run both sets of compounds. The red alternate tyre is the softer tyre, but we think is going to be the favoured tyre here. Question marks over whether or not it'll hang on for a full stint. And then the primary black sidewall tyre, the harder tyre, more durable, will last longer. But if the red will go that fuel stint, then it'll be quicker over the black, over a green flag average, we think, hence why it'll be a red race.
Okay, let's take a look then quickly at more of the championship. Alex Palou, as we said, leads on 590 points. Pato O'Ward is on 469. Now, if O'Ward, at the end of today, he can only continue the championship if he outscores Palou by 14 points or he's trailing by 107 or fewer. If the gap at the end of that is 108 points or more, Palou is the champion. We'll keep you up to date with that throughout the entirety of the broadcast as well. Scott Dixon's on 392 with Carl Kirkwood on 377. 357 comes in then for Christian Lundgaard with Felix Rosenquist 315. Colton Herta has 313. Marcus Armstrong 307. 289 for Will Power. David Malukas 276. Venus Frique 259. Scott McLaughlin is on also the same amount of points. Santina Ferici 248. Christian Rasmussen 239 with Joseph Newgarden 232. Kiffin Simpson, 231. Connor Daly on 215 from Alexander Rossi. Rossi having on the board 214 points. 213 for Graham Rahal, 200 for Marcus Ericsson, Nolan Siegel on 181. 172 for Louis Foster, then 168 for Rod Schwartzman. 163 for Callum Ilott, Sting Ray Robb 144, Devlin DiFrancesco 133, 100 points only Jacob Abel. Takuma Sato only did, of course, one event, 36. Helicash Neves on 20, Ed Carpenter 16, Hollywood Harvey is on 12, Ryan Hunter Ray has 10, Kyle Larson, of course, early on 6, and Marco Andretti also on 5. They're from points of the Indy 500 earlier on in the year. But it's top man Alex Palou coming into this as we get ready and set to cross over here at Portland. It's a beautiful day at the moment, Tom, so what are you thinking as well in terms of strategy? We've heard from Tom Gaymore saying that's going to be a red alternative start race as well. Those starting on the black tyres want to get them off early in the race. It's going to be a crash bang wallop. We know this place. The first chicane's tricky.
And that is going to be the hardest braking point, where it's going to really put the tyres to the absolute test. And I was just a little bit perplexed by the fact that are the blacks the best tyres to be used here for race conditions, or the reds? I can't decide for myself on this one. That'll be for the drivers to work out for themselves and the teams. And you have to bear in mind that the sun has come out onto this onto the racetrack, which could throw another spanner into the mix on how strategy is played out for each of the teams.
Yeah, last couple of years here we've had overcast races as well. This is certainly going to be an interesting one. Apparently for the picker winner, Joe Samaniego said it's going to be coming in as well. Nicole Fry, our colleague over there, said Pato O'Ward. Joe Samiego's going for Palou. Jackson Lambrose is waiting for a pick a winner point to come through as well. Coverage is starting on Fox Sports, so we are going to be handing over shortly to all of the drivers' parade news and interviews to see what is going to happen. Just take a quick look at the schedule coming up as well. Not many races remain here. On August the 10th here, we've got the BitNile Grand Prix of Portland. Then we've got the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile as well on August 24th. August 31st, it is the Music City Grand Prix on the Nashville Oval. Here we go then. It's time to hand over to our colleagues over at Fox Sports as we get ready for today's action. It is going to be a very entertaining event here. Let's cross over and join Fox Sports as we get ready for the action.
Greatness. A select few fall into this category. Achieving greatness is about more than hardware. It's turning failure into strength.
Delivering exactly what is
dominating an entire season with a target on your back.
We need to do something to stop this tank car.
Alex Palou wins again. Alex Palou will take the victory. Back-to-back victories.
Race after race.
The run continues.
Alex Palou's fourth championship feels imminent. So does his path to greatness. With 3 more wins, he can secure the winningest season in INDYCAR history.
Achieve the dream of a racing lifetime. 60 years, James, since we've seen this kind of domination.
Will he complete his conquest of concrete?
Palou is breathing rarefied air.
The road to greatness flows through Portland.
Beautiful and scorching day here on the Pacific Northwest, and we are in Portland for round 15 of 17 of the 2025 NTT IndyCar Series on a day when history can be made and Alex Palou can be crowned a 4-time champion, joining some of the greatest names in the history of this sport. Foyt, Andretti, Dixon, Bourdais. I mean, Franchitti. The list goes on. 4 times a champion. It can be done today, but it will be tough for Alex Palou. Pato O'Ward starts from the pole. Palou starts 5th. And Hinch, are we starting to see the pressure already starting to mount on a man who has looked nigh on infallible in 2025?
Well, here's the thing, guys. We came into this race knowing we needed a little bit of a miracle for the championship fight to stay alive, and the script is being written for us after a very uncharacteristic qualifying error from your championship leader, Alex Palou. On his fast lap in the Firestone Fast 6, into turn 12, locks up, ends up in the tire barrier. Look, this proves that even though he's got a massive championship lead, he's not just on a cruise and collect program. He is pushing, he is going for it, so he's going to be starting a little further back than maybe he should have, and his title rival, Pato O'Ward, because of a penalty for his teammate Christian Lundgaard, is going to be on the pole. But Townsend, it's not just his mistakes or issues that could affect the outcome of this race for him.
That's right, guys. There is no other racetrack in the world that offers the potential for chaos in turn 1 like this place, Portland. Let's look back through the years at some of the drama that can get you here in turn 1. That's right. All kinds of chaos down in turn 1 on the start. You can get off into the dirt and be blinded. You could be cleared out from behind like a bowling pin. And the deal for Palou is, as you said, the mistake could likely come from somebody else that really trips him up in this critical moment where he has a chance to lock down the championship. It's all about the start here at Portland. It funnels way wide and then gets super narrow. We're about to find out what's going to happen.
Absolutely. All about the start. The man who starts from P1, from the pole position, is Pato O'Ward, the only driver who can take this championship away from Alex Palou. And it's the championship leader, Alex Palou, who's standing by with Georgia Hennebury.
Guys, as you mentioned, Alex Palou has a chance to clinch the championship today. Alex, do you feel any added pressure because of this?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to go out with the opportunity we have here today, with the car that we have, with the team that we have, and with the season we had so far. So I'm excited. We'll try everything we can to try and win the race.
The championship points leader. He's going to roll off 5th today, guys.
Job 1 for Pato O'Ward is done. He starts on the pole ahead of Alex Palou. How do you keep the championship fight alive?
We win today, man. We stay where we are.
So what do you do? How do you get that done? First, you got to get through that chicane.
Yeah, man. We've got the best view going into turn 1. And I was super happy with my car in the warm-up. Also, in qualifying, it was a pleasant surprise to have been, so strong. So I'm feeling good today. I think we're gonna have a great car, or at least I'm gonna have a great car to work with, and I have faith in my guys. I've got some of the best group in the pits has ever seen. So I think we can get it done today.
Pato O'Ward looking for win number 3 on the season.
Let's get straight into our grid walk here. I'm actually going to have to interrupt this very important meeting of the Thursday Three. Scotty Mac, we've seen you throw some birds this weekend at your drivers and your competitors. You going to do that in the race as well?
Well, maybe, hopefully not. But I mean, I'm starting next to my best friend Dev, so we'll see how we go into the race. But we're feeling good in the Odyssey battery wagon. So we'll see what we got. Got an extra set of reds up our sleeve, so try and make use of those.
All right, well, I hope you do. I love how Scotty's able just to call his cars like wagons. I don't know how he's able to always get away with this, but he just seems to make it work, and I love that about Scotty. He's just a good dude. Also, shout out, happy birthday, Al. Marcus Ericsson, having a nice weekend so far, starting on some used reds, a soft tyre, and an absolute legend of our sport, Scott Dixon. There is a guy I want to try and get to because he's been carrying some really awesome momentum throughout this season, and that is Marcus Armstrong. And I'm going to have to interrupt this meeting as well. Marcus, just tell us quickly what your team briefing was about.
Hi Jack, good to see you. No, it's we're just letting everyone know what the plan is, frankly. We're thinking it's going to be a reasonably long first stint. Who knows with the yellows? INDYCAR can provide so many surprises, so try and stay out of trouble as well. There's some fast cars behind us starting on reds, so we've got McLaren and Ericsson to look out for as well.
Well, best of luck today, buddy. Vibes in Portland, really, really good. What's left now? The race. Stay tuned.
Okay, let's send it down then back to Tom Gaymore.
Just looking at the motocross track down there inside the infield here at Portland. A fantastic motorsport facility in the northwest of the United States of America, and the fans love it here too. It is sweltering. That is worth mentioning. It's going to be very, very warm inside those cockpits. They're going to need the air hose to the helmet, and of course the cooling, or all the cooling that they can get into that car. Not just airflow, but of course the cool suits. Drivers will wear cool suits that they'll plug into the car and try and keep them cool, because 94 Fahrenheit, high humidity, it'll be really, really mid-40s centigrade in those cars for 110 laps. No power steering, let's not forget, so the drivers really having to work hard, really high heart rate. That's like keeping your heart rate up over 150 beats per minute, approaching 50 centigrade, wearing 2 tracksuits. Just imagine that as the fans try and keep themselves covered in the open grandstands here at Portland. Now, we've talked about the Drivers' Championship. We've got to talk about the manufacturers as well. Honda on the verge of wrapping up the NTT IndyCar Series Manufacturers Championship after winning 12 of the first 14 events. Yeah, you heard that right. That's 12 of the first 14 events. Honda need to maintain its 224-point advantage, which I'm sure they will this weekend, to clinch its 7th manufacturer's title, and first since 2021. So first for 4 years. That's a big honour and a big tick for Honda. So all eyes on the Honda cars, as it is of course a Chevrolet machine that will lead the field to green. So we saw the delayed start. We expect to be going green at around 37 minutes past the hour, so sit tight, we're almost there.
Okay, let's head back then down to our Fox colleagues as we take a look to Venus VK. 7 top 10 finishes this season, most for the Dale Coyne team since 2019. That driver was back at Sebastian Bourdais. Here we go then, time to lock in, and Jack Harvey caught up as well earlier on in the week with him.
How would you reflect on the season as a whole?
Start out the season with a top 10 right away in St. Pete, only having that seat for 2 weeks at that point. And now being 11th in the standings, kind of peeking into the top 10. Already had a podium, 7 top 10s, which is tied for my best, 3 to go. It's pretty awesome.
Would you have expected that coming into the season, as you said, with only 2 weeks to prepare?
No. My goal was kind of top 16, I think was possible and realistic. It's been awesome. It's exactly what I needed.
Have you enjoyed being an underdog this year?
Yeah, this has been pretty cool. Yeah, it also takes some pressure away. I'm also not perfect every time, but it just shows a little bit less when you're in the underdog story.
To be on the podium here in Toronto, unreal. You had a brilliant podium in Toronto. What are the hopes for these final 3?
My goal is to get 3 top 10s to end the season. I want to qualify up front because our race pace has been great all year. We just need to start up there and move forward from a top 10 position.
Your wife, a boxer, how much does it help in the hard times? Somebody who is also an elite athlete.
And she's never asked me questions because she knows. She's gone through the hard times, the good times. It's really rare when you have a partner that strengthens you in what you do. She's the one.
What do you think it is that marks the greats? What do you see in yourself that reflects that?
I think dealing with adversity. I'm always having a lot of fun. Sometimes people think I'm too positive at times where I shouldn't be. But I always have a lot of hope, and I think never giving up is a really good strength to have.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Great watching you race this year, man. Real joy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's head back to
thanks to everyone getting in touch on social media at Tom Gamel. Use the Sky IndyCar hashtag. Quite a few people talking about why the season's so short. Well, in America, the NFL will begin in September, and the broadcasters will focus their attentions on that, and IndyCar doesn't want to go up against that competition, so the season is elongated. But of course, lots of talk about next year's championship and what the Penske Corp and Fox Sports and IndyCar will do to spread races out, and that was due to be finalised around now, so keep your eyes on social media for that as we look at the man at the moment. Really good interview from Dario Franchitti yesterday on the Fox Sport coverage about what makes Alex Palou so great, and he said, well, he's got all the talent. Lots of people have talent, but it's his work ethic, his absolute hunger to just be the best and to keep improving, not just every single race weekend, but every single lap, every single session. He's the first to ask what he's missing, he's the first to tell people what he needs, he's the first to show up and review things. If you look at yesterday's qualifying session, he's 10-10 still. This is a championship that he can just sit back and collect the coins, if you like. Now he's got himself into such a strong position, but he's still looking to improve. He's still looking to be the figurehead, the car on pole position, and that little mistake, a little bit like his mistake at Mid-Ohio in the race yesterday, cost him that pole position. In the end, it was the papaya of the Arrow McLaren team, Christian Lundgaard and Pato O'Ward, who have dramatically turned around their fortunes from last year, where they qualified so far back. I think it was 18th and 23rd to be on the front row this year. Just shows that Arrow McLaren are really starting to push forward under Tony Kanaan, of course, with Zach Brown looking over, but they have a lot going on now at Arrow McLaren, a lot of resource behind them. Zach Brown talking about how the team are starting to feel like they're in the mix for championships, feel like they're in the mix for the Indy 500, and with two figureheads like Pato O'Ward and Christian Lundgaard, and then Nolan Siegel earning his stripes, learning his trade in the third car, the papaya could be a real threat next season. They already are this year, of course.
Back to Portland for what stands to be the warmest Grand Prix here in history. Let's take a look at the starting grid, sponsored by NTT.
I'm Jacob Abel from Louisville, Kentucky.
Connor Daly from Noblesville, Indiana.
Robert Schwartzman, born in Israel, Tel Aviv.
I'm Callum Ilott, I'm from Cambridge in the UK.
Rinus VK, Hoofddorp, the Netherlands.
Graham Rahal, Columbus, Ohio.
Santino Ferrucci, Woodbury, Connecticut.
Sting Ray Robb, Hayat, Idaho.
I'm Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida.
Hi, I'm Kevin Simpson from the Cayman Islands.
Nolan Siegel, Palo Alto, California.
Christian Rasmussen, I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Joseph Newgarden, Nashville, Tennessee.
Louis Foster, Odium, England.
I'm Colton Herta from Valencia, California.
Devon DiFrancesco, Toronto, Ontario.
Scott McLaughlin, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Marcus Ericsson, Kumla, Sweden.
I'm Scott Dixon, driver of the number 9 PNC Bank Honda from Auckland, New Zealand.
Marcus Armstrong, Christchurch, New Zealand.
I'm Christian Lundgaard from Vejle, Denmark.
Alexander Rossi, Nevada City, California.
Hello, I'm Alex Palou. I'm from Barcelona, Spain.
I'm David Malukas, grown up in Chicago, Illinois.
Will Power, Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia.
Felix Rosenqvist, Värnamo, Sweden.
Pato O'Ward, Monterrey, Mexico.
Well, what a grid. The fastest driver starting in 7th, the championship leader starting 5th. The man who can take that championship fight onto the next round on pole. Now let's go trackside for the command.
Let's get ready to rumble then.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command for the PitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland, presented by Ask ROI, is PitNile.com Executive Chairman and Ask ROI Chief Executive Officer, Todd Alt.
Good afternoon, race fans. Rinus VK in the number 18 car. Start your engines. Everybody else, hang back a couple laps.
I mean, he had one job, that simple, and I don't think he managed to do it to 110%. We're fired up, ready to go here for the BitNile Grand Prix of Portland. You're live on JB Motorsports and watching in full on the Grid Network. Welcome to the home event, and this is how the track looks. Down towards turn number 1, the Shelton Chicane, very hard on the brakes, down as well, just to 58 miles an hour. Watch out for the congestion points. Turns 4 and 5, a long sweeping right-hander with a double apex. Links back into a tight turn 6, left-hand hairpin. Opens up a bit here, so we see some overtaking into turn 7 at 62 mile an hour. Another very tight right before it opens up. Quick kick through 8 as we go down and through the rest of the lap. It's a very short shoot down into turns 9, 10, 11 and 12. We see quite a lot of drivers locking up at the entrance to 10, ending up in the barrier down at the exit of 12, on the drag strip front straight, and down you go. Cars are making their way out onto the track. We come up to the comms box where we welcome you to the commentary for, once again, the Portland Grand Prix here. Our 5th event covering it on the Grid Network as well. Tom Cant alongside me once again in the commentary. Tom, here we go. Alex Palou could be crowned champion. Starts 5th on the grid. It's all to play for, but I've just got this feeling after looking at practice and qualifying, this is going to be wide open. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, especially on the last road course of the season before we do the last 2 rounds around the ovals. Can Alex Palou get the job done? Can he keep his run of consistency going with the wins? If he can win all the remaining races, he'll become the first driver in INDYCAR history to win 11 races in a season. But he's got 3 races to go and achieve that first. But his main target is to make sure the championship is wrapped up today.
Look at Christian Lundgaard chasing a victory. Should have been the pole sitter. 5 podiums so far this year. Without that victory, he's chasing it down hard as well. His teammate starts on pole position. We're on board now with Will Power, 2-time winner here at Portland. Back, as I said, in 2019 and 2024. There's David Malukas, a man who's been shining so far this weekend as well. Could be looking quite good. And we welcome you to listeners on USRN who are joining us live. We are all set on the parade laps now for 110 laps of racing. The pace cars coming in as we'll line up. Let's go through quickly the grid. It's Pato O'Ward from Felix Rosenquist, Will Power and David Malukas, Alex Palou, Alexander Rossi, Christian Lundgaard and Marcus Armstrong, Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson, Scott McLaughlin, Devlin DeFrancesco, Colton Herter, Louis Foster, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Rasmussen, Nolan Siegel, Kiffin Simpson, Carl Kirkwood, and then Sting Ray Robb, Santina Ferrucci, Graham Ray Hall, Venus VK, Callum Ilott, Robert Schwartzman, Connor Daly and Jacob Abel. Few penalties to come through. Christian Lundgaard has lost 6 places due to an engine penalty. The same goes for Joseph Newgarden and Santina Ferrucci. Kiffin Simpson has 6 places, but that's for contact with Felix Rosenquist at Laguna Seca on the opening lap of the race as well. Get the 1 to go signal at the line before the green flag will fall. And this first chicane, it's always going to be treacherous. I think we'll have a caution immediately. In a year, Tom, where we haven't had that many cautions, we went through something like 400 laps without them in the first couple of Grand Prix of the season. I think we'll have a caution here because that first corner is difficult.
I couldn't agree more, and that first chicane has been treated like a bowling alley historically. Let's hope they can all get through this time around. Looking at the race tie rules, and they must use at least the primary and the alternative at least once, and they must run 2 laps minimum on each of those compounds. As we see the cars coming through, this is turn number 7 that they're heading through now, with O'Ward at the head of the pack. Can he convert it into his 3rd win of the campaign? He had won in Portland, he won in Toronto, and he also won a couple of rounds before that in Iowa. Can he make it 3 for the season?
It's going to be critical here because he needs it. Even if he gets maximum points, O'Ward just needs to finish in 2nd and score at least a bonus point as well, or even if he just finishes ahead of O'Ward. So, O'Ward, Rosenquist, Power, Ericsson, McLaughlin, Newgarden and Kirkwood all start on the red-walled alternative tyres. Elsewhere, it will be the black primaries. We come into the last few corners. 3 rounds to go in the championship. We could be crowning a champion today. The Bit-Nile Grand Prix of Portland exits the last corner. The green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in Portland. Great start from Pato O'Ward. He comes down towards turn 1. Pallou's immediately on the inside of David Malukas, who's trying to go in a bit aggressive. Into the braking zone we go. Lundgaard just backs out of it. He goes side by side. I think everybody's going to make it through this year safely. Palou cuts off Malukas as they come in towards turn 2 and 3. O'Ward leads the race and still now moving up into 4th place. Great start though from Palou, got ahead of Malukas. Mid-pack still a bit confused, as well as Marcus Armstrong is dropped down 2-3 places. But critically, Lundgaard can't even get through at the moment. Lundgaard's stuck behind Alexander Rossi as Constantine is up again in turn 7 and Dixon's involved, going side by side. That's not Will Powell, that's the other one. Coming through the order, that's Christian Lundgaard dropped back. Ericsson's coming up the order, and Devlin Di Francesco going side by side now. Great start though, Tom, from O'Ward. He kept that lead critical.
Yeah, absolutely important. And Palou getting through on Malukas already, and there's a move from Dixon, who's made his way up the order. I think that's him through into, well, where is he now in the orders? They head over the line to complete lap number 1. Scott Dixon is up into 9th position as we begin the 2nd lap now out of 110. Well, leads then ahead of Rosenquist in 2nd place. And there's a further battling going on into turn 1. That's Rasmussen on the inside there. I couldn't quite see who it was he passed, but that was a very nice. Was it definitely Di Francesco? Yeah, so that's Rasmussen through an upper position. And can he keep hold of the place into turn number 4? I'm sure he will do. But clean start throughout the whole field.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. They've all must have had that talking to just before we started and say, look guys, just stay calm. You know, you don't win or lose on the opening lap. Lap 2, however, bang up the inside, goes to 28 of Marcus. Ericsson gets ahead. Dixon tries to pull to the outside. That's going to close back up as they go over through turn 8, down 9, 10, 11. Dixon does back out of it. Ericsson stays ahead. Look, on the recharge button immediately for the hybrid powers. They flick through the chicane. We go now. O'Ward leads 6/10 to Rosenquist. Power, Palou, Malukas, Rossi, Lundgaard, the top 7 once more. And remember, Palou needs to make up as many places as possible in this race. We head down towards the braking zone. A big crash into the barrier. Caution down immediately. I can't see who it is who's gone into the barrier. I can't make out. It's the Sexton's livery. It's the 14. It's Santino Ferrucci, who has gone hard backwards into the pit lane entry wall on the exit. The pace car is out, and Ferrucci is climbing out of the car. Rear impact structure showing exactly why it's so good. But Santino Ferrucci, who had the pole position here last year, is out on lap 2, and the caution's out, Tom. That was a hard hit, and he's out immediately.
Yeah, I wonder if he's had contact with someone, whether he just lost it by himself through turn 12. But Ferrucci's race all done before it's really started, in all honesty. But what a brilliant start to the race up until that point from the whole field, keeping it clean throughout. And this is on board then with Santino Ferrucci. He made a move on someone there, couldn't quite see who that was. He got by, but he is coming through to turn 11 here. Does he get a tap, or does he lose it all by himself? I think he loses it all by himself. Yeah, he's lost it. Yeah. Got too greedy on the throttle on exit.
Ambition over talent there. Just puts down the throttle and the car loops back round on him. And that's really a shame for Santino. He came in with that 6th place penalty for an engine change. And now he's hit the rear crash structure. That's going to require more changes going in to the race in a couple of weeks' time at the Milwaukee Mile. This is the last road course event of the year. And we're already under the caution as well. So, we'll get another start, folks. That's how it works. It won't be 2 by 2. Look at the damage it's done to the concrete barrier. It's properly knocked it out of shape. And that's not like a temporary pit wall. That's permanent concrete. And he's properly whacked it out of shape.
Well, that's what it's designed to do, to withstand that kind of impact. Don't expect it to be too long before we get this race underway. The marshals are usually very active in recovering cars in situations like this. And you can just see the tyre marks on there. That's not a big deal, really, when you think of it.
That should be good. Well done. They're craned away. And yet go on, Tom.
Yeah, well, they're craning it away very, very quickly, which is how they should really do it. And I won't say too much, but Formula One.
Yes. We said that last week, didn't we? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, during the Hungarian weekend, yeah.
Should be quicker than what we have been having. over here. That's 100% for certain. I'm very impressed by the team here as well. So just enlarging our timing screen. Award then from Rosenquist Power. Kevin.
See some in the back come in, but really you need to stay out here and get to at least lap 15. You really like to get to lap 20. It's about 29 or 30 laps on full push. If you want to do it on 2 stops, we need about 24 laps of caution. Now, who has an extra set of the soft, which we think is the preferred tire? The highest starter, Alexander Rossi, has a pair. Keep an eye on Scott McLaughlin, too. He's one of those that has 3 sets of softs for this race.
Well, Rahal, Schwartzman, Ilott, Daly, Sting Ray Robb, and Jacob Abel, who are all on the black primaries, have just dived into the pit lane. I presume for a set of alternatives. That is the case. Let's go back over to Fox then and catch up with them.
And we think now that's going to be it on soft for the remainder of the day. There's Connor Daly, the 2 Premers, Sting Ray Robb, they're all in as well. And everybody leaving, it looks like, on that softer tyre rather than Stingray, perhaps.
This is Townsend's dream strategy right here. Come in, get off the less preferred tire, which is what at least Graham Rahal, we certainly saw did. Got off that hard Firestone tire onto the soft. If you're right on board that good hard Chevy of Sting Ray Robb, he's gone to that hard compound tire. You got to do it at some point. What did Sting Ray start on?
He started on the hard black.
He started on the hard, so he's gone hard to hard.
Yeah, I like that because pitting on lap 5, these are long stints to make it to the end. So I think Sting Ray thinking about good, consistent pace. The other ones that went to soft, hoping that soft tire stays together over the distance.
Pato lifting his visor, wiping away perhaps a bead of sweat on his brow. The temperature out there today, unbelievably hot. A record temperature for the Grand Prix of Portland. Pato O'Ward, though, leads this thing under caution from Felix Rosenquist.
Yeah, as we come back in then as well. That is Santino Ferrucci's first DNF at the Grand Prix of Portland as well. Started on pole last year, finished 8th, 2023, started 22nd, finished 16th. So he's had some good performances here. Sadly, not today with looping around the rear tyre. Pace cars out there, lap 6 of 110. We're into the last 30 laps over at NASCAR. So it's quite weird to think that NASCAR's going to be probably done inside an hour. And everyone there will join us on the network as the AMR safety crews getting taken out of the field. Award leads Rosenquist and Power, Palou, Malukas, Rossi, Lundgaard, Armstrong, McLaughlin, Ericsson has the top 10. Okay, we will be crossing over shortly to check in with our Sky colleagues of Tom Gaymore, as we're going to get ready shortly as well for that mixture to come through. INDYCAR has now joined on Fox. There won't be an ad break as of yet. Let's take another look at it then, Tom. And yeah, this is on board with Santino. Got to move on the inside line, jumped ahead of Jacob Abel, and then it all just went wrong at the exit.
Looking at the rear suspension work, but that had anything to do with it. No, I think he just got too greedy on the throttle. He got too greedy on the throttle as he applied the power. I don't even know whether he's got those rears up to the temperature, really, hence why the car just spun around in the way it did. But that was an unfortunate crash into the barrier for Santino Ferrucci. I'm looking at the strategy for those that just pitted. Now, they've mentioned the fact that Sting Ray Robb went from hards to hards, which is an interesting strategy. But those who pitted in, started the race on the red Stide Mark tyre, the soft compound, they have gone for another step of bump. By the look of it.
Yeah, that is a bit bizarre to come in and change over from red to red. They'll have to run blacks at some point in this race. Everybody, as Tom said earlier on in the broadcast, must run one set of blacks, one set of reds inside green flag running. So you can't just do it under caution. It must be on green flag laps you run those tyres. So we'll remember that for when we go back to green, this time by with Pato O'Ward having to bring up the restart once more. Pace cars coming in then. O'Ward, Rosenquist and Power. Palou right behind with Malukas. Now there is still the restart zone to contend with. You can accelerate coming past the alternative finish line here, but no overtaking until we get to the start line with that green flag conditions. O'Ward will accelerate at the exit of turn 11 and we will go back to racing. He's hit the gas now. Exit of the last corner, green flag's out, and once again we go green at Portland And O'Ward has got a lightning restart. Palou has not caught their field as he wanted as they come down towards turn 1. Will Power looking a little bit feisty indeed. Can he look for a move on the inside of Rosenquist? Meantime, Christian Lundgaard looking for a move on Alexander Rossi. 3 wide further back as Joseph Newgarden tries to get ahead now as well of Devlin. Di Francesco spin round. They're going through 2 cars. Foster's one of them. And I think as well it's giving Venus VK as the second. The synchronised spin around will stay green this time by. But just a loop around in that first corner is not the way to go. Caution, though, is on standby as we come down in towards turn 7. There goes Lundgaard on the inside of Alexander Rossi. Right behind him goes Scott McLaughlin trying to come through. Still the restarts have come up towards turn 8. Hard on the field as we come through. Down to the braking zone. And the caution has now been thrown. So the yellow flag is out once again, Tom. Yellows breed yellows.
Yeah, one of us been leftover debris from the first corner mayhem that we saw. So we'll find out exactly how whether there was actually some leftover debris. A good restart from O'Ward by all means. We are seeing a change in the field. Newgarden's back ahead of Di Francesco into 13th position in the Team Penske car. You can see this pace car just waiting for the leaders to come up to the rear of it. Doesn't seem like there's any leftover debris down at turn 2, so I don't know why they felt the need to bring the safety car out.
Not sure on that front. I can't see anything around. We're watching from the helicopter camera. No, nothing from my point of view as to why we needed to throw a yellow flag. Okay, there was a piece of debris in the middle of turn 2. The AMR safety crew apparently went out to collect it in the truck, not a marshal. So the truck on the track caused the yellow. Okay, so thank you for that behind the scenes. So, yeah, can't tell who's who at the moment. I think Kiffin Simpson got into the back of Foster. That's what Christopher DeHard is saying over on the monitor. So we'll take a look, but the caution is out. Let's go back then and join our Sky colleague of Tom Gamel.
And they need to see if the softer red side of the tyre can make that count. So keep an eye on the runners on the alternate strategy. Those that are still out there, and that's the majority of the field, they will be going to at least lap 30, 31, 32 here before they stop, depending on how much yellow we have left in this first stint. Pato O'Ward has had his visor open twice during these cautions to wipe the sweat away from his eyes. It's so distracting. It gets in your eyes, it makes you blink, it distorts your vision, and it's really frustrating. They are sweating so much in these cars. It is sweltering there. Record temperatures here in Portland. I cannot overemphasize how much of a physical feat this is for the drivers out there today. 10 laps completed of 110, our second caution period here at Portland. Marcus Ericsson has been given a penalty. He was deemed responsible for that incident down at turn 1. He hit Louis Foster there, so he will have to serve that. We're about to go back to our Fox colleagues, and we'll get going again as the safety car makes hay whilst the sun shines. Pato O'Ward will take over now. He will lead the field to green again here at Portland as we head back stateside.
We're ready to go then. Again here for the Bitnar Grand Prix of Portland, lap 10 of 110. And we will get going again here, ready for the restart. O'Ward will lead them through once more. Out of the last corner, O'Ward, Rosenquist, Palou got a second chance here, restarting well. Hammer down, and we are racing once more. Right, this time by O'Ward has not got the best restart. Rosenquist is right alongside as they head down towards turn 1 of the chicane. O'Ward's having to go defensive. Rosenquist pulls to the outside line. He's not going to be able to sweep it through. Meantime, Lundgaard and Malukas going for a battle as well. Into the chicane. Was there any contact there? No, but Malukas has lost out. Lundgaard goes through up into 5th position. I think as well did Rossi try to have a go. No, Rossi stays behind. Siegel's past Herta though. Further back in the field. So O'Ward leads, we now come to the fantastic drone shot, and yep, Kiffin Simpson has been given a penalty from race control for that incident. So unfortunately, that will be the 8-car trouble. There's a car off into the gravel and kicking up some dust. I can't see who it is at the
Abel,
moment.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. It's Jacob Abel. I think it's gone wide. So we'll see who's dropping down the timing screen behind Venus VK. Yeah, I think it is Jacob Abel. It might have gone wide. What about Rasmussen? But good restart there, Tom. But Rosenquist right in the back of O'Ward.
It was a good restart, but not as good as last time for Pato O'Ward, hence why Rosenquist was on the tail. And now we've seen the slipstream and looking at Alexander Rossi under attack from Scott McLaughlin, who's going to the outside. He'll do well to get the car slowed down and go through, but McLaughlin is through on the outside.
Fabulous move from Scott McLaughlin, who dominated this event in 2022. You don't see many moves like that around the outside. That was spectacular. Now, who's below VK in 24th position? My computer monitor says it's Louis Foster. I don't believe it, that he was the car who was off at turn 6. Can't see who it was either on the timing monitor. I'm going with Abel because he has dropped a couple of places. Yeah, it was Jacob Abel. Great spot, Tom, further back in the order of things as well. As this race continues side by side, this is Joseph Newgarden trying to have a go on a battle as well with Scott Dixon. Dixon's gone defensive. Joseph looks against the barrier on the way in towards turn 10, 11, can't get through, but so much more is the suction that drags you into the braking zone. You just sort of want to outbrake yourself into that opportunity. But so far, I'm liking the way this race is running, Tom, because it's not what we had in previous years of being dull, as there on the inside, Newgarden does make the move on Dixon.
Oh, hot on the brakes there, Newgarden through on his old spiralling partner, Scott Dixon, into turn 1. Enough for the Americans to head through ahead of the Kiwi as they head through turn number 4 and then 5. It's been a super start though from Polo, but he's got 2 more positions he needs to make up if he's going to be crowned champion today, but he's got plenty of time yet in this race. And there is the pit strategy to factor in for the drivers as we look at turn 6. That is, that's coming
Rossi
through on the outside.
Rossi.
Contact.
Oh, sorry, it's Rasmussen. It's Rasmussen who's got a penalty as well, according to my time. Not definitely for Chester's got one too, but
that's dangerous.
Yeah, Rasmussen just forced off, I believe, Connor Daly. Now he's trying to fight back around the outside. It's all getting a bit messy in the mid-pack now. They need to start calming down because different tyres running at different temperatures, as you mentioned, Tom. It's the hottest Portland Grand Prix on record, and they are biting away at different compounds. So why we're seeing such an exciting race right now. Ross is going defensive as well, and now Rasmussen goes defensive again down towards turn 1. He's going to try and hold back Louis Foster on the inside, but Foster's got through, and there's contact there again, coming all out of shape. What on earth was Connor Daly thinking? Completely launching up the inside at turn 2, we avoid caution.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous consequences there for the pack behind them, and luckily they were able to keep going in the right direction. Connor Daly could have picked up a penalty had the stewards perceived that he was responsible for that. A lock-up further up at turn 6 as we see Rossi hold up the likes of... Is that Rossi who's just holding up the likes of Ericsson? Or am I looking at the wrong car?
No, I think you're right there on that one as well. As Siegel and Di Francesco dropping places as well as they come in towards the gate. There is Nolan Siegel holding them up, as you say, as they come in towards the last 2 corners. Then caution, big accident! Oh, into the wall! That's the 76 of Connor Daly. Cautions out immediately, flying into the wall at high speed, bouncing off the tyre barriers at a 4 rows deep. At the exit of turn 10, the car bouncing back over to the ground, rear right broken, front right broken. AMR safety crew is immediately on site. I can already see that Connor Daly was moving inside the cockpit. He's moved down his steering wheel now. He'll hopefully get out unaided, but a big terrifying accident at high speed there, and Daly, unfortunately, I'd say that was coming quite a lot. He's been putting that car in all sorts of positions. He hit with Rasmussen a few laps ago, and then he's now been forced off again into the barrier top. It's all go today.
Yeah, that was a dangerous rejoin from Daly on that first one, and he's had contact with him
Rasmussen again. What on earth? I can't tell if that's a flame or a piece of red tape, like it's flown up in the air there. Do you see what I mean? I can't tell if that's a flame or something. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's a flame. Wow. Now, this is the thing, by the way. INDYCAR use fuel which is invisible to the naked eye, but the velocity of that crash and the cameras we've got, we could see the flames sort of getting kicked up in the air. Watch this in super slow motion. So Daly tries to go off the outside. He's already flying off. Rasmussen's just minding his own business. Daly hits the barrier. Then watch this little red strand that comes back onto the track. Can you see it, Tom? It's unbelievable. Connected to the back of the car. That's mad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know whether to call that a racing incident.
Mm.
I think it's a racing incident, but yeah, it was a huge velocity, the way of which Daly hit the barrier there, and the right rear brake is on fire as well, it seems. It's smoking quite a bit.
That's
so
what's caused that flame.
Yeah.
Wow. We're 16 laps in, we've had 3 cautions in a Grand Prix that in many a year people have been saying, why are we racing at Portland? There's been no action, it's a boring Grand Prix. Haha, welcome. The most boring season in IndyCar's history gives us one of the most exciting races in the calendar. How can you not be excited about this?
Watch the bottom here. I don't know what he expected me to do there.
I mean, probably give them racing room, maybe. Yeah, not right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're right. Loads of cars coming to the pit lane this time. Right. Let's send it down to Fox. Their reporters are going to be on standby. Kevin Lee, along with Georgia Hennebury and Jack Harvey.
Well, and as we move towards the short track ovals on which both of them have been so fast. Kevin down on pit lane.
Felix Rosenqvist comes in from second. He has used his only set of new softs. He's going to a used set of softs on this stint. Jack.
That's where Ward also pit there. He's going with the brand new hard tyre, Kevin. It's a pretty good stop there for the 5, and that is a team that is so good on pit lane.
Well, Will Power has stayed out, so too our championship leader.
That's somebody else.
We'll be back.
Oh no, they're re-showing the accident. Okay, let's check in then with Sky Sports and listen to Tom Gatemore.
Yeah, that was not pretty, and you could see it was bubbling from the first instant when it was, I'm sorry, but Rasmussen driving Connor Daly off the track on the exit of turn 7. We had a great aerial view. You could actually see Rasmussen move the car left to cut off that run on the exit that Connor had. Connor was all the way around the outside. Connor was then incandescent, and you saw that run into the turn 1-2 complex, and later on around 2 of the fastest corners on the track, turn 10 and 11, and that was frightening. That was a big impact, and you know, drivers at that speed are not indestructible. So we're talking about safety here, and you have to look at, you know, each other's well-being at some stage as well as the race position. I'd like to see it again because we don't have all the camera angles, but it did look as though Connor was around the outside, and at some point, much like Christian Rasmussen on the inside of turn 7, you have to give that position up. Connor was around the outside at 7, and then they both ended up on the grass, and then at turn 10 maybe he was around the outside. But just hearing from race control, apparently well, the incident is under review, so let's just wait and see what they say. Just a correction from when I was last on, I said Ericsson was going to get the penalty. That's not the case. It's actually Kiffin Simpson who got the penalty for that contact with Louis Foster. But desperately want to see a replay here of that contact between Christian Rasmussen and Connor Daly. As Hinch and T-Bell said, there will be words after this race. Connor is going to be very angry with that. But let's wait and see. I'm hearing no further action on the Rasmussen incident. That's what's coming through my ears, but let's wait for formal clarification. If that is the case, then they've got more TV angles than I have. So let's run with that. That's the official decision as we head back now for more action from Portland. 19 laps completed and another caution here.
3 cautions inside 16 racing laps. It's lap 19 of 110 here. And boy, oh boy, are we having the craziest time. Josh Birch and Tom Cairns alongside you in the commentary box as we bring in this action. Let's open up that lap counter now. Show the correct stage of things as well. And Tom, Ferrucci's crashed, 2 cars spins, Daly's crashed. It's been all go. And we've still got drivers who are alternating between good and bad runs. But Will Power has somehow made his way to the front of the field.
Yeah, well, he's going to go long. I mean, he started the race on the hard compound, didn't he, Will Power? So I don't actually blame him attempting to go long on this first stint because he will have to use the red side mart soft tyres at some stage. Alex Palou, likewise as well. He's going on a longer first stint to what Pato O'Ward has decided to do. Pato O'Ward, for your information, is running in 13th position because some of the drivers in the pack have yet to come in for their first stops. So we've got a big mixture of strategies playing out here. You've got those who are keeping in track position, whereas those are just wanting to get the phase of running both compounds done and out of the way, so they're not having to worry about adhering to the regulation further on down the line in this 110 lap race. We've got a long way to go. You never know with more cautions, because that is going to play a huge part in who wins this race, and of course whether the championship gets decided here or not in Alex Palou's favour. If you're Alex Palou, would you be feeling happy at this point that the caution's out, or would you be feeling a little bit worried considering all the pit stops that have opened? And also we've got a penalty notice for Di Francesco.
Second one that's come through as well. Now, he did just serve a penalty, so Devlin's going to have another one go through. I'd say, yeah, I'm a bit worried if I to drop places in the field. So Devlin Di Francesco is dropping places in the pack. I think Palou is just going to be that little bit worried because he's now running in P2, but he's on the bad tyre, the black wall tyre. Power, leaning on the reds, can he, for the first time, actually get some gumption ahead? Pace car's coming in this time by. Let's see what we're going to get this time. So there you can see on our screen the tyres. 2-time winner versus another 2-time winner here, Power and Palou. And already there's been some Constantina further on back in the pack. I wonder if they might wave this one off. Exit the last corner, they're all good. Down the start, finish straight. The green flag is flying. We are racing. And Power immediately gets ahead well, but McLaughlin wants to make it a 1-2. I think Palou locked up. He did. He made a small mistake coming towards turn 1. The exit's going to give the action. Now to McLaughlin, who's looking left, looking right. Palou's all over the place right now. Rear locking, front locking. And already those black primaries, he's got so much bad run on the front tyre degradation. Palou not liking it so far. Power now has the advantage, and I wish I'd stuck to my guns and said he could have been my pick-up winner here today. But there was some sort of drama further back on that restart as we now ride on board with O'Ward, who lets his teammate through of Christian Lundgaard on the inside line.
He's let him by there, O'Ward, but they are on the same team. So
oh no!
Lundgaard,
Oh no!
he's got a problem.
That was O'Ward! It sounds like he's got a problem! If O'Ward's out of this race, then he is! He is! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! The engine's going! It's gone! The car's gone! Pato O'Ward is out!
They're hoping to restart the car, hoping it's an electrical issue.
But if that's the case, then it's not going to be it! Alex Palou will be the champion! I can't believe it! I cannot believe it! Palou is going to be champion! O'Ward needs to fight back and hope that that car can restart. If he retires, it's game over. Palou might have just clinched it with O'Ward dropping down. He's into the pit lane now. We'll keep you up to date as Hertz's having battle in the mid-pack, but it's all changed in the opening 22 laps.
Unbelievable lot for Pato O'Ward, and we've just seen a replay of Scott McLaughlin attempting to get by Alex Palou on the restart, and I think there was contact, right rear against the front wing of Scott McLaughlin. That could have been very, very different in terms of the story.
And then we see the 30 moving up the inside as well, so more side-by-side drama in this incredible race. Devlin Di Francesco moving up ahead of Felix Rosenquist, but Rosenquist wants to fight back, coming through as well. Down towards turn 1, now we look to the McLaren battling up as well. It's all go, and O'Ward has now been lapped, and he is crawling down pit road as his number 5 mechanics are now pushing the Arrow McLaren towards the pit stall. But even a lap down, there's, and the mechanic falling on pit road, trying to push the car on a rolling rear tyre. This is disastrous as things stand. I'm trying to have a look at the title permutations. Remember, Palou is in 2nd position of this race. All he needed to do was just finish ahead of O'Ward and he's champion. If O'Ward doesn't finish, the championship is over before even needing a result. Palou could be already a 4-time champion, as Dixon was side by side in the middle of the pack. This is a fantastic race. Yeah,
I'm loving every second of it.
Oh.
Yep, there was a battle going on towards turns 10 and 11, or 9 and 10 I should say, but you can just see the field filtering through past turn 1 on lap 24, and we are looking further back here. What we are seeing here, that looks like one of the Team Penske's cars, and he's ahead of Colton Herter, who's got Oliver Rasmussen for company as well. It feels like Colton Herter was running a different livery every single round. I watch him. Crazy.
137 points back. The gap needed to be 108 points or more. If O'Ward gets out of that car, it is over, and Palou is champion already. This is very good for the man who's dominated with the perfect 10 so far this year. Can he get the 11th and claim the title? But he's 3 seconds back now to Will Power. Both of them have won this race twice before. Meantime, it's all happening in the middle of the field as well, because that's Malukas looking side by side into a very tight zone on the inside line, trying to get ahead of the 8 car. That's not the 8 car coming through, is it? That's oh, it is Kipper Simpson, the 8 car. Yeah, sorry, it's changed livery today. Only diving through on the inside line as well. And more driving towards turn number 1. That's a bit tight coming through. Rosenquist trying to break inside the top 10 to get ahead of Jacob Abel. Abel's better on the exit than him as well. Rosenquist will try and swoop round at 3 and 4. Abel's gone defensive and will hold him back. But it's black tyre coming through as well. So they're stuck behind Sting Ray Robb on the black tyre. Both of these two, Rosenquist and Abel, have the red alternative tyre, and they're faster through this middle of the pack. And look at this! It is that's a gearbox IC issue. So oh no!
At the control unit on the electronics for the car.
The CE.
Absolute hot.
And this is bad news as Power laps him again. Tom, CEs, they're made directly by McLaren as a standardised part. They've let their own side down.
I mean, you have to feel for Pato at this point after everything he's done, but it just feels to me like he's left this form until the back end of the season. So let's not use today as like a, you know, to put Pato off. You know, I think at the beginning of the year, I don't think it was exactly consistent enough to even mount that kind of challenge to Palou anyway. So the fact that he's had this brilliant run of form, top 5 finishes in the last 5 races before this round 4 award, it's all unravelled for him here, and yeah, what an awful day so far for Aaron McLaren.
I love Jen's comment here on the YouTube chat. Hello, Jen. She says, I smell a fix. Last year it was Power's seatbelt, now this. I must admit, it's just a bit surprising that 2 separate technical faults have resulted in Alex Palou getting crowned a championship. But I must just remind you that last year it went down to the final race of the year. This year it has gone down to, well, 3 races to go before the end of it as well. But yeah, just a bit bizarre. But yeah, I think they've got Penske have got enough problems without trying to fix the race up for a champion on the other side. If anything gets a fix, get Power and McLaughlin up there. Highest the Penskes have run all season long. They are having nosebleeds where they are. Power leading, McLaughlin 3rd, Newgarden 4th. If Palou drops outside and Penske get a 1, 2, 3, it'll be their best result since, I think, middle of last year. Iowa, wow. This could be strong. Look at this, 5.2. Is this a critical weekend, Tom, for Power? We mentioned it in the pre-show a little bit about how he's on the cars to be replaced. He's been talking with teams. He was talking with Nicole early on in the weekend, saying, you know, like, I'm driving, I love racing. Is this a situation where he needs to win today? This is the last time he could probably win this year.
On the postcard. I mean, he's been around in INDYCAR for so long, and he's won that championship in 2022, didn't he? And he's experienced enough to know what is best for him. I think he's the only judge of where his future lies, really. And that looks like Colton Herta going through, and the same with Scott Dixon. Dixon's going through on Simpson. Herta through on what's like David Malukas at turn 2.
Another
overtakes
outside move. That is brilliant. That's twice we've seen that today already coming through. I am loving this today. Can we, honestly, people have been saying, oh, why, you know, Portland last couple of years, it's been, you know, processional, hasn't had many exciting laps, hasn't had many exciting races. And yet, all of a sudden today, it's exploded. We're 28 laps in, and all hell has broken loose. Power at the moment by 5.8 seconds. Pato O'Ward still in the pit lane. I think it's over. He's so many laps down now, he won't be able to get through. This is now effectively, I think, Palou settling in for the afternoon, knowing he's champion. And that breaks me ever so slightly. 3 cautions, 2 leaders, 1 lead change, 25 of the 27 cars still running. As now we see Herta trying to go around the outside of Kiffin Simpson. And Herta again with that movement to turn 1 top. He likes it. He's got the gumption on those tyres, just over 2 of the black cars.
Nice to see Herta coming through the field. I mean, mind you, we've got a lot of those that haven't pitted yet in this race. Now, the highest driver in the field to have not stopped, or to have stopped, is in fact Graham Rahal in 5th place. He's already made a pit stop in this one, whereas the top 4 have not done so yet.
Graham Rahal started on pole position here back in 2023. I think that's O'Ward trying to fire up a pit road, I can hear, on the distance. Just got a really unusual smell coming through the commentary box door. We've got it open, you see here, and it just smells like a little bit of an interesting situation if you're a fan of burning wood. Sounds like someone's having that fun. Jack!
Race to get off the hard tyre and put on the soft.
Okay, no Jack Hamilton. We was told we might have Jack down there in pit lane. We'll keep up to date with him if we have anything, news, views and opinions from pit road. As things go though, this race has been a shocker and we haven't even really got started today. I tell you what though, you said answers on a postcard. This thing has just been nuts today. Right, still going.
I think what Pato O'Ward may be thinking is if Palou hits trouble later on and he retires, O'Ward, in terms of how many points he needs to get from this,
yeah,
he was 121 behind, wasn't he? So he would need 14 points at least in this race. Now he's led the race already, which is an extra point, so he needs to get 13 more. So he has to finish in the top 17 in order to keep the championship going into Milwaukee.
Sting Ray Robb has come down pit road as well. Now he had stopped in this race already, so that's another set on for the black primaries. He'll probably go back to sticker red, use as least as that as he can. Starting from reds, moves on to primary, now go back to red for the remainder of the race as well. I have now been told that Pato O'Ward has left the pit lane. 8 minutes and 27 seconds he spent in there, and now, yeah, he's back out 8 laps down. So O'Ward is running, and he's going to try and catch the field up if we have 8 more cautions. No free pass, remember. They'll just have to be very sneaky and tactical to get them back.
It's going to be a long afternoon for Pato O'Ward. But Palou, he just needs to take it easy.
The gumption to not give up, though, I think is strong. I'm really impressed he hasn't given up. 8 wins, 5 poles this season, as we said. Alex Palou still going strong in second now. 8.3 seconds back to Will Power. Into the middle half of the race then. As with every Grand Prix, it's going to quieten down a bit in the centre. Remember, we still have yet to see pit stops for the top 4 runners. Power, Palou, McLaren, Newgarden, all yet to come in. Rahal in 5th, as Tom said earlier, is the highest driver to have had a pit stop. And this is strong for Alex Palou. Remember, They've all started as well. Alternatives for Will Power, Pillows on the black primaries, but he's pushed them to the momentum. Definitely, though, Power and McLaughlin Newgarden, they started on the alternative stop. They've helped out by the safety car.
Massively, massively so. And Power is shooting further up the distance. I mean, he went on the soft compound to begin with for this race. He's not pitted. And looking further down the order here, is this a replay? This is the incident for Rasmussen and Daly. That's the first incident where Daly went off, and this is the second one where he got tapped around him through turn 10, and that was a big impact into the tyre barrier. Luckily, he was able to walk away from that. But that is the emphasis of this race so far. Well, I say that's the emphasis. The emphasis is the fact that Pato Ward slowed with some form of technical issue, 8 laps down on the leader, and his title challenge is effectively over, and Pillow can just breathe a sigh of relief and just carry on to the end. If he finishes ahead of O'Ward, it does not matter where O'Ward finishes, really. And title number 4 in his IndyCar career, the 4th in the last 5 years, 3 in a row for Alex Pillow, is coming in the way today. And I think it's the first time in a long time, if not ever, that he's managed to wrap up the championship with at least 2 races to spare.
Yep, you're right there, as you see him on the inside, as Malukas gets through on Simpson for 16th place as well. Simpson's going to try and fight back, coming on the run out of turn 8, down to 9 and 10. He's got directly behind, though, Alexander Rossi is going to set through on the inside and not want to hold anything back through there too. Okay, just a quick thing as well, yeah, because he's won it with either the last race of the season, i.e. Long Beach in 2021, when Pillow won the title. Then when he won it here at Portland, he won it with 2 races to go. This was the penultimate race, this one and that one, so technically 1 race after. This will be the first time we wrap it up with 2 to go. So this is, he's getting from the last race to 1 to go to 2 to go. So he's slowly going up with his domination season. That we all knew he was going to be champion. He's had that locked in throughout the eternity of this season as well. 2 laps to go, by the way, in the NASCAR Cup Series race at Watkins Glen. You can follow that live on the main USRN channel and on JB Motorsports. Matthew Owens, Seth Eves and Matt White are in the commentary box for that one. I won't tell you who's leading, but it's a road course. You can probably have a guess. As into the pit lane now comes Scott McLaughlin. Let's head down and join our colleagues.
Didn't get any air when he left the track there. Was an inherently dangerous situation.
Yeah, had Connor started to tumble, he would have ended up in the Indy next paddock, but at this point it doesn't matter. No penalty issued, and cars are just getting ready to start making pit stops right now.
McLaughlin is in, and Kevin is standing by.
We got our first look at how long you can go in the softs. Those were new softs, so he gets to lap 35. He is on another set of new softs. Still has 1 more to go, but it's still going to be 2 more stops. It's going to take a ton of caution to be able to get it done on 1 more.
Yeah, and well, it's possible, isn't it, that they can do it on 1, but Power and Pillow coming in will stay on battle screen so that you can see all the information. Let's head back down. Race leader is in. So is Man, who is provisional champion.
34 laps. Jack.
Yeah, Will Power on his way in now. We know that the 12 can be so good on pit stops. You're going to see them go to a used set of the soft tyre. He had about 11 seconds lead over Alex Pillow, and I think that clearly right now is just showing the pace advantage of this soft tyre compared to the hard, and he's actually going to transition out onto the track right as you see the 10 now coming into the pits. Hits his marks really, really well. I just get a feeling that this strategy, Alex Pillow does things on some of these hard tyres that we aren't able to see from other people. Interested to watch this unfold.
And Power has got out ahead of Felix Rosenquist.
Oh, that's so critical. Power gets out ahead of Rosenquist, who was effectively the net leader after as well. So now this is all going to change up massively. Rahal second, Ilott third, Schwartzman in 4th place, VK 5th. But that is Power back in control in P6 as Newgarden's about to come in. And the McLaren's going through on the inside line. There's Rosenquist, but it's all trying to keep up strong, isn't it? What a pit stop coming through right now.
That was a timely pit stop there for Will Power, getting out in front of Christian Lundgaard, who's in a battle with Jacob Abel, who's had a spirited race so far. And you can just see that Scott Dixon's not too far back from this bunch either. We've got more pit lane activity. Joseph Newgarden has made his way into pit road in the Penske. And we are seeing more of this jostling heading towards turn number 1. And it looks like, is that Rossi coming through on the inside? No, it's Rosenquist. It's Rosenquist, isn't it?
It's really hard to tell because Rose, it's all over the place at the moment, was flying around on the TV pictures as well. NASCAR has finished, so they'll be wrapping up, and then you'll get automatically redirected over to our stream as well as it comes into it. Ray Hall leading though from Ilott, but they're on the alternatives. So far, if I'm not very much mistaken, looking at this tyre monitor, all bar Pato O'Ward, who's effectively out of this race, so ignore him. All competitive runners, Tom, on the red tyres now, and now it's just a gamble of who's hot and who's not. Here's the pit exit. This is where Power came out and feeded ahead.
Yeah, so you can just see the queue of cars coming through there. You can just see he's right on the apex, and that's the thing with this Portland circuit, is that you come veering out into the path of the pack. That was Jacob Abel had to slam on the brakes to make sure he didn't run into him, and fell back into the clutches of the pack behind. Now, the reason why the drivers have gone for the soft compound at this point is we see Power make a move into turn number 1. Is that Nolan Siegel has just got... No, it's Rinus VK's. Rinus VK's just got through. Has Will Power into 4th position. My point is that these who are now on the red side marked soft compound, they are thinking of a caution later on. That's what they'll be thinking at this moment in time, considering all the attrition we have had so far in this race here in Portland. They'll be thinking about a yellow flag at some point. If they nail it, then that's going to play into their hands. They can switch onto the hard compound, at which they can try and go to the end.
Lundgaard gets ahead of VK as well. Don't forget, we had Rahal, Ilott and Schwartzman pitting lap 4, so they're trying to make everything count, i.e. the alternative of what happened. Ward came into the pit lane for 36 seconds, then came out. He knows his day is pretty much toast at this moment in time. It's a good strategy so far to come through. So Rahal, Ilott, Schwartzman, Power, VK are the top 5 as the race continues. Let's check in with Tom Gamble.
Felix Rosenquist, Rossi, Dixon and co. They stopped 22, 28, 22, 22 laps ago. So they have a bit of time till their next stop, probably about 6, 7, 8 laps. As you can see, Pato O'Ward back out on track. The slow black and papaya arrow McLaren there. So it's interesting that the championship is pretty much Alex Pallou's now, but with Pato O'Ward back out on track, 8 laps down, he still needs to outscore Alex Palou by about 13 points. So it's very, very hard for him to do it at this stage for the championship.
Side by side now, as we see Rosenquist getting ahead of VK, so VK starting to drop. Ilott, Schwartzman and Abel are coming down pit road this time by, so they are changing over once more as RTV pictures have a little bit of a freeze up as Power now takes over in 2nd position as well. We've lost track noise from the TV picture side of things. We still have pictures as Rossi goes on the inside line. He too now gets ahead of VK in towards turn 1 and 2. A nice manoeuvre to go through as well. Rahal still out front now by 13 seconds. There we see now is Jacob Abel in the 51 getting out there better. Another new run of strategy. We have lost audio from trackside. Thankfully, we still have TV pictures. I'd rather it be that way around, to be all honesty as well. But Rahal's under pressure. Dixon now trying to come through on the inside of VK. VK's got to stop. He's dropped 4 places in 2 laps there, Tom. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, he start thinking about pitting in now, does Rinus VK. Looking at where he, well, in terms of his strategy so far, I don't think he has pitted in this race. The last time he came in was on... Can't quite say what lap it was that VK came in for his last stop. Was it lap 31? It can't be lap 31, surely not.
It's further down on the list, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it can't have been. I'm not believing that graphic as well on our monitor appear in the comms box. Rossi in 4th, Dixon fifth. So Rahal has now pitted. So Power retakes the lead of the race from Lundgaard 2nd, and now. So, yeah, 4 to 41. That's about as much as you can take those red tyres. Yes, quite a lot of it was under green flag running, but that was a strange prediction at the moment. I'm just checking Twitter to see if audio's gone down. Yes, it did, for them as well. As they're back with them now from the international feed. You don't have to finish Googling that. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, so VK came in about 31 laps ago. So it's the lap, how long it's been on the stint of tyres that he is on. So it's no wonder he's dropped back so much on that compound. So I think even though the drivers are going to go as far as they can, as we watch who's that that's coming through? It's one of the Hondas that's on the rear. Or is that Rosenquist who's behind? No, it can't be Rosenquist. That has to be one of the Andretti's.
As VK coming in.
Kirkwood.
Yeah. It's hard to tell this weekend because they've both Kirkwood and Herta have the Cambridge livery this weekend. Now, from the off-board angle, it's easy to tell. From the on-board, they're exactly the same. So it's hard to tell who's who into that braking zone as well. VK, though, does dive into the pit lane. Now we're riding with Christian Lundgaard in the Arrow McLaren. Just that inside front tyre looking a little bit destroyed, but his 2.7's back at the moment to power. He's not totally out of the realms of possibility that he'll be in contention to lead this race, and Lundgaard desperately would like a race victory underneath his pocket. Now, when the NASCAR goes off air, we'll be able to bring in our telemetry graphics that are alongside us here, including car cameras.
A fuel 89 to do that, whatever you can do with an 89.
89.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay. So, it's not going to be as bad as you think. I think Lundgaard might be on for a shout here. Yeah, so when the next phase of pit stops, we'll be able to bring you driver onboards from drivers who have cameras on side. So, look forward to that when we get that running up and in a few moments' time.
Christian Lundgaard's only IndyCar victory coming in Toronto in 2023 when he was racing for the Rahal Leiterman Lanigan Racing squad. He's now an Arrow McLaren driver these days, but he is loving life there, I can imagine, the way his season has gone so far for him. Running 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. He has yet to pick up a win, but he has finished on the podium 5 times. Most recently, his 2nd place finish at Laguna Seca last time out. And he's loving life with this machine, isn't he, JB?
He really is. First season with the McLaren team, as you mentioned, it's just been a couple of downs, but mostly ups, and a development year for him as well to come in. Still the young gun. He had a great race in Portland. I remember commentating that race in 23 alongside Megan. It was a long weekend, thanks to the rain. And I think we had a red flag at one point as well, off the top of the head. But me and Megan literally came off having a massive accident in Formula E. And then we had like about half an hour break, and then bang, we're straight there, going into IndyCar. As now that is Herta getting past Georgia.
That's the speed that they are carrying off the front stretch. 170 plus on the front stretch into this turn, such close quarters. And as we see here at Portland, turn 1 is the one where we see all of the drama. And here's a first-hand look at that.
Cheers, Georgia.
O'Ward back in the pits again, JB, and I can imagine this is probably for good now because he's been in the pits a few times since he came back out after that technical issue.
Gotta sort of just give it up now there as well and just keep it out. Palou running down in 8th place. I think he wants to hang it as long as he can in case he can get, drivers fall out and he inherits those positions. But either way, Palou just needed to finish ahead of him. Literally wins if finishes ahead of O'Ward. So O'Ward needed to win here today, and it hasn't worked out that way. Pole position to out of the race. Now, Alex Palou behind Marcus Armstrong, 8th and 7th at the moment. It's actually one of the worst performances we've seen all year from Alex Palou. A couple of road courses he's been poor at. Shocking in Toronto and at Long Beach, and the only person I can think to have got that in common is you, Tom. The 3 races you've done this year, and the 3 races he's not doing 100% now, as he now goes to a move.
Yeah, well, I was helping out with JT for Long Beach, actually, and that was when he finished in... Where did he finish in Long Beach? He finished 2nd, didn't he?
Yeah.
Behind Kyle Kirkwood, who had won, yeah. So I don't know if it's a bad luck thing that whenever I'm here, Alex Palou doesn't win.
Were you in Detroit?
I was watching Detroit, but I wasn't on comms for Detroit.
Yeah.
But I did see when he crashed out, which was a very bad error by his part. But that's pretty much the only mistake he's made all year. I know he made that mistake yesterday in quali, but it was kind of one of those that he could afford to mess up at on a road course like this.
Dropped back and started, qualified 6th, started 5th. Now runs in 7th, behind Kirkwood now, trying to bring in that traction. Someone is having a bonfire, but unfortunately we live near a field and there's been some fresh manure that's been put down over the past day. So the fire smell is not mixing well with the methane in the air. So this commentary box now smells like I'm in a barn. Well, this is going to be interesting. On board with Joseph Newgarden now, running down in 11th position. There's some fantasy music plays in the background from Fox. And David Malukas has dived into the pit lane. So he'll move in now from 9th position, so all the way down to 15th. They've gone to a break, so Tom Gamel's taken over. A little bit of a twitch. This is lap 47 of 110. Long way to go in this race yet. Been on air for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Pleasure for everyone staying with us. As I'm just waiting to get the communication that USRN have finished. They go on for a lot longer than I do as well. Usually we get all the driver interviews, bang, we're out, bye-bye. But I suppose they've only been on for 2 hours, 52 minutes, which is actually quite a short race. Watkins going one of the quickest on the calendar for NASCAR. And not many cautions actually there today. Not too bad. There's Will Power leading by 4.2 seconds. I think we've drawn the short straw here though. Fantastic first, 23 laps, and then Law quietens down while the tyre strategy goes on. I'm impressed though by Malukas, who are running out right now. That's O'Ward, by the way, who's a lap down, several laps down, so he has gone back out again. Malukas just came into the pit lane, by the way, for a 31-second stop. And he has now dropped down to 24th position. Christian Lundgaard is boxing this time by, as the strategy once again calls for that action. Not a bad getaway. There he is. Are they back? No, they're not. Waiting for Fox to come back to throw down to the pit road. Now, this is going to be his second stop of the afternoon. He's going to go on, hopefully, to another set of red alternative tyres. They are stickers as well. You can see the red stripe alongside the Firestone F logo indicates it is a sticker set to come through.
Felix Rosenquist.
I don't know where that came from. Hang on a minute, did you see that pit stop happen? Because we're looking at the McLaren guys, and not once did I see Lundgaard's tyres. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Look.
It's the other one. It's the 6 and Nervous Seagull coming in. Fox making that slightly harder to work out. Herder gets a new set as well. Away he goes. Burns them up coming out of pit road. And still gets out ahead for another Seagull. There's O'Ward. Getting a couple of laps back. As now Fox return to the broadcast. Lap 50 of 110. Power leads from Rossi and Dixon. He's got a 17-second lead at the moment. The two-time winner of the Grand Prix of Portland is looking stronger and stronger here today. As still a lot of action has already happened. 3 cautions. First off, the 14 of Santino Ferrucci. Too much throttle, the exit of the last corner backwards into the pit wall. Then Kiffin Simpson spinning the 45 and the 18, avoiding, both able to continue on in the race of Louis Foster and Venus VK. Biggest crash of the day though, Rasmussen of going normal racing line. Connor Daly ran the outside at turn 10, straight off into the barrier in a heavy accident. Looking that everybody is okay. Rossi and Dixon are boxing this lap. This will put Palou up into second. Rasmussen is coming in too, so is Louis Foster. Right, let's go down pit road and join our reporters.
Driving magnificently. Christian Lundgaard pitted while we were away and has dropped down the order. We wait to see how everything shakes out. As Palou sits second for the time being.
He wants the update. He wants the information because he has clean air in front of him as he looks to dig into that gap with Will Power, who will have to still run that harder, black, slower Firestone at some point right here.
He is going to need the drive of a lifetime, the drive of a champion today to make up a 20-second deficit, no matter how big the gap between the hard and the soft tyre. 20 seconds is no small margin that he has to try and make up today, and he has just half a race in which to do it. We sit on board with Pato O'Ward, who had so much hope and expectation coming into this race. It has all fallen apart. 10 laps now, he is down, and Jack Harvey is standing by with his team boss, Tony Kanai.
Yeah, Tony, it seems like Pato has done everything that he absolutely could today. Even yesterday, starting on the pole. Can you explain to us exactly what happened?
Yeah, I mean, the DI boxes, which is one of the electronic boxes that goes through to make everything work, had a connector that with a little bit more of a vibration that we don't know why, vibrated a little too hard and actually used the whole box. It was when we unplugged it. It's one of those things that you don't have an explanation for it. It's really nobody's fault. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck to be able to survive those situations. But we put up a fight. Obviously, kid's awesome. He's a fighter. He's one of the bright stars, and we couldn't really put up a fight today. But great job from the team. We've been stronger every week, and we're building this thing up. And all we can do is keep trying, and I will keep pushing. And thanks to Chevy and all the sponsors behind us. But yeah, it wasn't our day. Christian's still in the fight, though, so he might save the day for us.
Thank you, Tony.
Wonderful action down there as well, as we are about to wrap up all the action from the NASCAR area of things as well. So make sure that you are all set for what's going to be a cracker over there. Tom, what are you making of the racing so far? It's been crash, bang, wallop, shebang, explosion galore, now a champion. What a day.
What a day indeed. It feels like the race has calmed down, I think, for the last 20 laps. But the big story is Pato O'Ward hitting electronic issues in his Arrow McLaren, which forced him into the pits, and had been there for some time. He is still in the race, albeit 9 laps down on the leader, and his championship charge has fallen short.
Fallen short, and unfortunately it will have to wait for another year to come into it as well on the action of things. Power now still going through. Hello to Irene, it says hi, poor Pato, there goes his title. Coming in as well on the YouTube chat. I echo those sentiments. We're just getting our other timing screen open now as well, because our main viewer has become available for me in order to keep an eye on things. Oh yeah, it's been an up, down, crash, bang, wallop day. Let's check in then with Tom Gamel over on the Sky F1 team as well. As Power leads Polo and Newgarden.
Fascinating insight there from Kevin Lee on what the strategy looks like. Obviously, Will Power and Christian Lundgaard and co buying it out now for the race victory here at Portland. We're watching Felix Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist with Alexander Rossi ahead of him. Scott Dixon behind. Rosenqvist now 12th place. They've just stopped. Rosenqvist 5 laps ago. Alexander Rossi 3. Scott Dixon 3. Had a complete update from Arrow McLaren as to what the issue was with Pato O'Ward. An electronic issue. The wire rubbed through the shield and shorted out. That was in the direct injection box. They've changed the direct injection box and the wiring loop. So that's the sort of full update as to what's going on with Pato O'Ward 9 laps down, still circulating, but at the back, exactly halfway through now this NTT INDYCAR race. Grand Prix of Portland, 55 laps completed. Will Power leads Alex Palou by 17 seconds. We've got Joseph Newgarden, they're all on the same strategy. Graham Rahal, it is just behind. 14 laps ago. So that lap, that was 20. Of course, that lead. Last lap for Will Power, 101.7, 101.4. So Pelot dropping the hammer, 101.5 for Joseph Newgarden. Everyone else in that sort of 101.5, 101.4 bracket in the top 8. No one else going quicker anywhere else down the field. It's worth talking at this point about Penske's season. So far winless. This will be the first year, if they were to go a season without a win this millennia, since that has happened. That is what Team Penske are staring at this moment. What it would mean for Will Power to drive one of those Penske Chevrolets into victory lane, the lift it would give the whole team, but also the lift it would give Will Power. Of course, he's fighting for that seat for next year.
Yeah, indeed. As Will Power will continue on, I'm delighted to say that when the cars come in for pit stops, we now have the ability to take a look at some of the onboards. Now that we've let go to all the people watching on NASCAR stream. So we'll have the onboards of Will Power, Joseph Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, Sting Ray Robb inside that top 10. No camera for Alex Pelot though. They've really missed out on that. What is a championship winning day. As we ride on board though with Pato O'Ward, as we heard from Tom Gaymore, unfortunately it is an issue of the electronics. It shorted out Tom and what could have been today. It's such a shame. It could have been a race win and kept him in the title hunt, but I think it was inevitable Pelot would have been champion. But the way to win the championship, it's not on in my book.
I mean, it's not how you want a championship to be decided, but championships are not decided in one race, they're decided over the course of the season, and you can't complain whatsoever about how dominant Alex Pelot has been all year. And you can see he's gradually getting the gap down a little bit. We saw it was 20 seconds earlier when we were listening to World Boxing. It's down to 17. So Pelot getting the gap down, although not quickly enough in what he needs to go after Will Power. They're on the same strategy as well now. So this is a straight fight for the win here in Portland between Will Power and Alex Pelot, bar any more cautions.
The dogfight is on, and believe me or not, everybody's going to want to try and win this one here today. It is this type of battle as they come into the braking zone once more, turn one. So the gap 17 seconds. It is closing down. Last lap time by Power 101.82. Pelot 101.62. So he's 0.2 of a second faster on that last time by. Sting Ray Robb is coming into the pit lane. Cover your ears, Tom. It might be a bit loud. But we do have that onboard camera of Sting Ray Robb, so I'll try and bring it open for you to watch on the telemetry. You can probably hear it in the background. So we'll have that onboard camera. I can't wait for this. It's been too good a time to wait for it. He's coming in now. Is he? That's Alexander Rossi. Wrong camera. Wrong camera. I clicked the wrong guy. Oh, well, I can't get it. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Changing the timing towers quickly on everything. He couldn't let me get hold of it. That's a shame. He goes by too fast. Right, here we go. Is this it? Yes, here we go. Let's turn that off and open up the telemetry. There we go. So we're hearing he needs a really, really good outlap, and we're seeing that he's put on a set of the red tyres on the call, so away he goes. Bam, bam, in towards turn one. Thank you very much. As we'll now open up the main graphics as well. Will Power still on the onboard. I do admit, I love this graphic. I do love it. It's so much easier now to play around with things to come in. We had it earlier on in the season, but we didn't have a strong enough Wi-Fi connection. Now we do. So as soon as we see a driver diving into the pits, I'll fly to who we need to go to. If I get it right. Over the line then, down towards the braking zone. Gap 16 points. Pelot's going to win this, isn't he? Gap 16.3. He's just gained in a second on that last lap by.
Will Power's back to overcome traffic. You can just see he's coming up towards what looks like Nolan Siegel and Louis Foster. So you got those two, and there's like another 3 or 4 cars ahead, which Will Power is most likely going to get held up. He's in that turbulent air now, is the Australian. So if he is going to lose time on this lap, it's no wonder.
Still holding through, darting to see if he's going to dive into the pit lane, because I want that telemetry graphic ready to go. I've got the finger over it to select it on the computer. Will Power is coming into the pit lane this time by, so you'll be able to see it. Let's turn off the data. Let's see the onboard camera of the telemetry. Come on, worky. Power's diving in. Let's get down to pit road.
Maybe he is pretty much assured to come out almost at the exact same point of the track as right now is Christian Lundgaard. Let's see where he comes out. Jack is waiting for him though down on pit lane.
I am, and they are already set up with that black sidewall hard tyre. This has been such an impressive run for Will. We've already said how good this 12 team are with pit stops, and right now there is a little bit of a bubble there. Finally down pit lane.
Let's take a look at it then on the onboard camera once more that we see on board. Yeah, front right tyre was okay, fuel was good, rear tyre sticked a little bit. It was the fuel that was the weight to get out, but away goes Will Power. So he's able to take it back through now. Well, I don't want to say it told you so, but that's not a bad outlap at all. He's recharged it fully. It could have been worse, because now he's come out where? 5th place. Palou has the advantage, but looking good.
How far can he take the soft compound then, Alex Palou, before he has to pit in? Because it's inevitable there's going to come up to back markers, and I think once he catches up to the traffic, that's his moment to pop.
27 lap old alternative tyres right now, as Will Power has gone onto the black primaries. I'm so glad I've got my actual timing screen back. I've been having to work off timing 71 for the majority of the race. Now I've got the multi-viewer graphic backup operational as well. So yeah, it's all coming in nicely. Who's diving in this time by? Devin Di Francesco pitted, but I don't think we've got a camera for him on the overall system. Will Power then, looking to be in control of this BitNile Grand Prix of Portland. BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland, I should say as well. Okay, let's check in once again with Tom Gable.
Yeah, catching is one thing, passing is another, and Christian Lundgaard might have the tyre advantage, but he doesn't have the track placement, and also he doesn't have the fuel number that Will Power has. So Christian Lundgaard will still be, I know they had a bit of a laugh and a giggle earlier on in the race at the number that they got to hit, and Christian Lundgaard said he could hit that easily. It's still going to be a number that is greater than Will Power's. So yeah, advantage Lundgaard tyres, advantage Will Power fuel number, but advantage Will Power track position, and that is really, really important around this Portland circuit. Don't forget, we do have push the pass, haven't talked about that, 200 seconds of total time, maximum time of 20 seconds per activation, and of course you have the hybrid here, 350 kilojoules per lap. There's
Well, I'm just going to interrupt because Scott McLaughlin's in the pit stop as well. Let's go over and take a look at his pit stop strategy. So a lot of fuel going in. Out he goes. He's gone to the black alternative tyres. Yeah, not bad there. Not bad there at all, Tom. It was a nice strategy call.
Is he able to go to the end on those then, JB?
Should be able to.
As Palou said.
Right, race leader dives into the pit road. Now this is critical. With Newgarden in second, will he follow suit and come in? No, Newgarden takes the lead of the race. So Alex Palou dives in. He's taken those tyres, 29 laps. He's going to go to another set of sticker reds. That's a long way to try and take it with 46 to go. He's going to be banking, Tom, on a yellow flag to come out. We haven't got a camera, by the way, for him.
So, yeah, he's going to have to bank on a caution later, because if those alternate red side mount soft tyres are not going to be able to go to the end. He's thinking about a caution later on. There's no doubt about it there for Alex Palou. He's got to try something different, though, if he's going to have any hope of winning this race. Will Power is just going through turn number 7, I believe. Whereas Alex Poe is only just coming into turn number 6 now.
Joseph Newgarden's coming in. I can't turn this down, it's really annoying. Right, you've got 30 seconds, go on, Tom.
Yeah, so Palou needs to get on with it really and get those tyres up to the optimal window. It will help with the track conditions, but there's no way he'll go to the end on those without a caution.
Going to those scuff blacks here. Confirmed no wing.
See, he's trying to get some oxygen to his ear there.
Copy that. Clear run all the way. It's going to be a short stop here.
Let's watch the stop.
3, 2, 1.
Bang on his box.
Black
tyres.
Still clear, go.
He's come out behind Alex Palou, but it was a good stop there for Joseph Newgarden.
3 of them left side, there's a gap right there. 1 back Rossi, pass.
Rossi's still on his outside.
Left side.
Yeah, Rossi's passed him. So Rossi got past him on that exit there as well, Tom, but it was a good strategy call, it was a good pit stop.
Good pit stop indeed. And now, looking at the gap between Power and Palou, it's still around about 16 seconds between the pair of them. Graham Rahal is the one that's leading the race right now, ahead of Power, and Ilott, who's up into 3rd place in the Premier. Then there we see a move from Dixon on Newgarden for position. Newgarden's tyres aren't up to temperature yet. That was easy picking for Dixon before they even got to turn number 9.
Still looking strong then as we're getting into our second phase of pit stops. Graham Rahal, now pole sitter here in 2023, lines up as well as our race leader on 26 lap old alternative tyres. Power from Ilott, Lundgaard, Palou, VK, Rossi, Dixon, Newgarden and McLaughlin has the top 10 as they continue to hold on strong. I'm enjoying this race actually as well. There's a lot of underdog storylines coming through that I didn't expect there to be. So yeah, fingers crossed this is going to end well with 43 laps to go. We've ticked over half distance.
The fact that Power's gone on the hard compounds has kind of forced his hand a little bit now because he's got to go to the end on those, because I haven't recalled anyone doing at least 46 laps on those on the primary tyre, the hard compound for this race, compared to those on the softs. We know that Palou's probably going to pit again before this race is over, so he's kind of like got 2 bites of the cherry. Well, if it doesn't work on the soft compound he's on now, there's always another set of softs for which he can try and go after Will Power that way as Power's tyres really start to fade.
Yeah, it's not looking to be a good thing. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Pit stop window's been around about 25 to 28 laps on the alternatives, between 32 and 40 as well on the black primaries, but we've got 42 to go. Palou's just, as we said, go on to alternatives tyre. Power's in 7 laps on the primaries, so it's going to be a bit of a here, there and everywhere to try and get back into the action of things. That is Pato O'Rourke coming back out of pit lane once more as well. He's outside of positioning and just gets himself out of the running order again. We're watching Lundgaard chasing down Ilott, who's in 3rd position, but he's made 2 stops today. So Prema actually in an okay situation as things stand. Lundgaard too. This is a strange day here in Portland. I'm excited, I'm enjoying it, and it's certainly been an entertaining one. Great Rahal's coming in, race leader. And we have a camera for him, so we'll get ready for that to be taken over. Power's 8 seconds back. Okay, let's take a look at the onboard camera then as into the pit lane. Well, why has it changed to Will Power? That's a surprise. I clicked it that time, and YouTube saw I clicked it. Okay, come on. Rahal's in. Here we go. Driver's eye as well, as into the pit lane also comes Callum Ilott. So I think it was a good stop coming through for Rahal.
3, 2, 1.
There we go, stop. Refuel's in. Can't tell much from the driver's eye point of view. Good exit.
Coming out of 12, he's in. X1, full push. X1, full push. Clear out.
It's one full push, and you are clear out as well, as Power still has contention at the front of this race to hold on to the strategy. Power leads Lundgaard, Pelot under trois right now, Tom. I think we've got a race on our hands.
We do, and Pelot's getting the gap down nicely on Will Power as Power makes his way through turns 11 and 12. Christian Lundgaard right behind Will Power. We expect Lundgaard to be in the pits again before this race is over. He's been on the tyres he's been on for 22 laps, so he will come in again before this race. It's the red side mark, so he will be in again before this race is over. Probably go on to the blacks before the race is over. But it's looking good for Will Power in terms of winning his first race of the season, and the same for Penske in what's been a very turbulent year for them. With everything that's been going on and off the track for them, a victory is exactly what they need here.
What on earth is that thing? Something huge just flew into the commentary box to remind me that the door's wide open. I better go close that. Good opportunity to hand down to Tom Gaymore and get the opportunity to catch up with him with 39 laps to go.
And the two strategies converging on top of one another here. Will Power and Christian Lundgaard first and second on the track, separated by 1.2 seconds. Will Power on the black sidewall tyres and Christian Lundgaard on the used reds. Will Power's also on used tyres. They are the used blacks, of course. 1:02.0 last time around for Will Power, 1:01.6 for Christian Lundgaard. So that gap continues to drop down. Now you can see there is nothing in it. Christian Lundgaard in the dirty air of Will Power. And they have 120 seconds of overtake left. Will Power, 113 seconds of overtake left for Christian Lundgaard. Of course, they have the hybrid as well. We expect Christian Lundgaard in around 6 laps time for his final stop. Will Power's got about 18 laps to go if he needs them.
Oh, that was nice there. Powers at the exit looking strong. Just got the latest information here, Tom. Connor Daly's put a tweet out. Purposefully wrecking someone in a 150-mile-per-hour corner is just pure insanity. That's not racing. It's inexcusable. The driving standards for some are a joke right now. That means you, at Christian Rasmussen. Hashtag INDYCAR. He's directly called him out on Twitter. So Daly feels like it should have been a penalty, but no further action have come from the stewards on it. Well, talk about wanting to air your laundry and all that lot.
I mean, I feel for Connor, but is going on social media the answer to his issues?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like just hold out a big red flag for everybody as well. It's not the smartest idea he's ever done. But then again, it is Connor Daly. He's been on the receiving end of a Christian. To be fair, I think that's a bit rich from him. He's done way worse in his career. I seem to remember a certain Connor Daly upside down in the fence at Monaco. Just saying. He even did that in IndyCar as well, didn't he? As well in 2010. He's been in the fence a couple of times, Daly. Thinking about it. Still, 37 laps to go. By no means are we nearly over in today's event. So much more to do. So much more action to file on. And the battle for the lead is heating up extremely nicely, with Power just 1.1 seconds ahead of Christian Lundgaard in the McLaren. Alex Pelot running in third, Rahal fourth, Rossi fifth, Dixon sixth, Newgarden seventh, Ilott is eighth, McLaughlin ninth, Armstrong in 10th, Rosenquist is 11th, Kirkwood 12th, Malukas 13th, Herta 14th, Rasmussen 15th, Foster 16th, Siegel in 17th, Schwartzman 18th, Simpson 19th, Sting Ray Robb in 20th, Devlin Di Francesco 21st, Venus VK 22nd, Marcus Armstrong 23rd, Jacob Abel 24th, and then pretty much still running, but Pato O'Ward is 10 laps down out of the race. Connor Daly and Santino Ferrucci through accidents early on in the race. We're now riding on board with Christian Lundgaard coming out of turn 7 and the run up through the kink at 8 and then through 9 into the braking zone now. Still, he's now 1.3. Battle and a half for the racing lead packs here. This is going to be a fantastic end. If you're watching, you don't want to move, you don't want to miss anything in what is turning out to be the race of the season so far. As Palou, already crowned champion, all he had to do is finish ahead of Pato O'Ward. If we get to within 10 laps, Palou is going to be automatically the champion, because there'll be no feasible way for O'Ward to close up that many points and that many laps. So I think he's provisionally in, isn't he, Tom, as well as the standings. It feels a bit like 96 in Japan. Yeah, Jacques off, Damon's champion, but we've just got to wait and see. It happened last year actually to Palou as well when Power seatbelt failed.
Well, I think by the time Villeneuve retired from the race, Hill was crowned champion regardless, because Villeneuve had to win the race and for Hill not to score. And that was on that particular occasion for Formula 1. Looking at the gap that Palou's making up, he is closing in, but I'm just worried about how much life he's taking out of those tyres, helping get to where he is at. Mind you, Lundgaard's done well on his old set of softs to keep in touch with Power before he is due in for his last stop. I'm conscious actually where Lundgaard's going to peel back out once he makes that last trip to the pits.
That's what I'm thinking as well, actually, because he's got enough from the field. I'm trying to work it out as David Malukas is coming in from 13th place. We do not, I believe, no, we don't have a camera for him, sadly, in this one. Have team audio though we could play, I'm being told. Try and get it, let's have a listen. Is that radio? No. Well, that doesn't work. See, we're trying new things here for you all to bring in the action. The thing is, we've got my phone hooked up at the same time to bring you picture-in-picture. So, yeah, all doing work, but we couldn't do it when the NASCAR stream was on at the same time. And it's only available for the race. 33 to go. That's another half an hour of racing, by the way. A lot to take on these tyres. Palou's closing in. Gap now down to 8.3 at the front. Power leading by 1.4. 16 lap old primaries compared to 30 lap for Lundgaard. No wonder Palou is charging up. The gap now 6.8. It's closing in once more. Push to pass, by the way. Not much being used of that today. In terms of Power, still got 120. Lundgaard on 110. He's used a second of it now. There's been a few bits that have come through. Okay, interesting situation developing. Daly wants to protest the fact that there was no penalty to Rasmussen. That's not going to go away, is it, today? What happened to Pato? Right, Pato had an electrical issue where part of the wire was fusing against the car. So it cut out the engine and the battery. Unfortunately, that was him done. Stopped in the pit lane for 10 laps and is now running 25th. So that was a sad issue for him coming into it. On board then with Lundgaard, 1.1. Feels like we're just in a holding pattern again, Tom, to see who's going to be fast and who's not.
Well, I think with everything that's happened to O'Ward today, it's opened things up in the race for second place, involving him, Dixon, Kirkwood, and possibly Christian Lundgaard, and in comes Lundgaard from second position.
So still going in, it's going down pit road.
Fuel that he can get to go these final 30 laps, but the key is the fresh, brand new set of soft red sidewalled Firestones. Will Power does not have that available. Alex Palou does, so there is still 3 in play. Let's watch the stop for Earl McLaren. And Lundgaard is back out.
Every last drop of Shell 100% renewable fuel goes into that McLaren. Christian Lundgaard is on his way.
And where does he get out? Ahead in towards turn number 1. Yeah, so there's still Matt Foster and Siegel in 2 coming into it. Apparently I've lost connection to our little party trick. I'll see what I can do. But the action's still going strong. Here's Tom Gamer.
Yeah, that's Christian Lundgaard's final stop, but just how long does Will Power and Team Penske leave it now? Surely they've got to come in 30 laps. Have they got the fuel number to get it through to the finish? This is a Team Chevy car, and as predicted, Will Power and Team Penske don't leave it a second longer. They've got to cover off Christian Lundgaard, because Christian tyres, once they get up to temperature, will be enough to undercut Will Power. So he's in, gets rid of the black, harder side of the towers, fuel in, and now the reds are on. They will be red to the finish. Out comes Will Power. There is Christian Lundgaard, and he's done enough. He's kept that track position, and now it is just a dash to the checkered flag. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, but he is ahead of Christian Lundgaard, and that track position is the most important thing. Now, what does Alex Palou do? Because he's yet to stop as well. Does he stay out, try and put a few quick laps in, or will he come in and just try and get that final stop done? Because if he stays out and a caution's thrown, that's going to be really difficult for him. So
it's all going now, isn't it, Tom? Everything's changing dramatically, but Palou's leading. He's got 17 lap old soft, well, alternative tyre compounds, the sticker reds. As into pits comes Rossi, Ilott, and Armstrong, and Rasmussen. They're all diving in now for that last run.
Yeah, and Palou's got to make this count. If he can go as far as he can before he sticks the brand new set of soft compound tyres on, that's Power who's going to get held up by that back marker. As he comes out, oh, is there a back marker?
Yeah, it's Ericsson. He's running in 24th position, a lap down. No blue flag has been given, so he's just held up. And here behind, I believe that could be Pato O'Ward. Alex Palou is diving in. Wow, that's a shocker. 17 lap old tyres. Palou's going to try and use this advantage and come into the pit lane. Lundgaard's right behind at the moment, though. We're going to come on the practice screen because this is Lundgaard right behind to have a go at Will Power. This is critical right now. He's got the tyres and are up to temperature. Lundgaard needs to make the move ASAP.
He won't do it here, but he'll have a go on the pit straight. But the trouble he's got is that Power will make the most of Ericsson with the toe. Now, this is vitally important that Lundgaard gets a very nice exit. It's nothing too shabby, but it goes back to what I was saying about the usefulness of the toe from the car in front that Power's making the most of here. Ericsson doesn't exactly get out of the way just yet. Palou rejoins the circuit, and he's not too far behind.
That's Palou coming in after the stop. He's rejoining only in second place according to my timing screen.
He's in 5th position, JB.
Yeah, this timing screen is faulty that we're looking at up here on the monitor. He has come out in 5th, so he's right behind Lundgaard, exactly where we were expecting him to be. I don't think he had that big of an advantage over the field. Ray Hall leads then, but Lundgaard has to keep pushing, has to keep attacking Power. He's never been this close before. He's never had equal tyres before. It's now or never. Come on, what have you got? Down pit road again. That's Joseph Newgarden boxing. So Newgarden diving in to change over. He'll drop behind Alex Palou. Through the first corner they go. So it is Ray Hall leading this race. Alex is just holding up Power too much. He's going to push him back massively. Have a look.
I mean, the fact that they're being held up behind Ericsson is playing into the hands of Palou. He'll be catching up on these at a rate of knots. But But this is going to be a mad dash to the end, as we expect Graham Rahal to be in the pit lane for one more time, and it'll be a three-way battle for the win here in Portland.
He's in now. He is in now. So this puts Power back into the lead of the race, but Rahal... Oh, that's Newgarden backwards in turn 2. Joseph Newgarden, this could bring out the caution. Can he refire the car? He's looking stationary at the moment. No yellow from race control at the moment, but Joseph Newgarden, he's had a 6th place penalty due to an engine change. Was running inside the top 3 and is now backwards, but the leader's about to approach that first corner now. He's still backwards. We're gonna need the yellow, but we've got Rob and VK in the pit lane. They're gonna have to wait till that gets out to not affect it. Local yellows at the moment. Oh, he's got going.
How's it managed to take him that long to get that car fired up?
That is a bit of strain. It's gone again. It's gone again.
It's gone again.
But he's in a position where it's not going to need a yellow. Let's take a look. So he's behind Dixon. Dixon's right behind him in turn 1. Is he going to nerf him round? Oh, Scott, what are you doing? Scott Dixon nerfs around Joseph Newgarden at turn 1. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. Why did Dixon do that? That is so daft.
Let's watch the...
Have a listen.
Is the car leaving the pit lane to go straight to the line there? Oh, he just clipped the attenuator.
Yeah, just clipped the back of, as Hinch said, the attenuator at the back of the car, the safety structure. Well, we've got... Has he restarted? Yes, he has. Newgarden has restarted. But he's got, I think, a lap down on the timing screen. Yes, he has. Why was he just sat there for ages though, trying to refire the car? Miracle he did, but that car was refired for about 10 seconds before he actually moved. He waited for Power to go through, by the way.
The good news for Palou is that Power's battery power, or the amount of push to pass, has reduced because he was using it to fend off Lundgaard on the straights. They're still stuck behind the back market, and yet Dixon's been given a penalty, JB, for the collision.
I thought so. Avoidable contact. It was daft to even think that that wouldn't be issued by the stewards. That was a totally daft, a totally stupid and unavoidable error. I'm surprised he's got away with it just like that, to be fair. I was 9 times out of 10 thinking that would have been something a lot worse. If he couldn't have restarted that and it got stuck, it would have been totally out of it. Lundgaard holding in then. Still looking strong. I don't know. I'm 9 times out of 10 thinking this is going to be an interesting end to the race. I'm one part of it thinking this is going to be an absolute nightmare. I don't know which part, Tom, is which. It's going to be frightening.
I don't either. Don't know where to look when it comes to racing in IndyCar. Whether it be on a road course, on a street circuit, or on the oval. You don't know exactly where to look. And Will Power doing everything right in this race, but has he got enough left in there to fend off the Arrow McLaren of Christian Lundgaard? As we see the Chip Ganassi further in the background of Alex Palou. Not too far behind either. A 3-way fight to the finish. Graham Rahal in 4th place. He's done a terrific job today, actually, as Graham Rahal to get up that high. The man running 19th in the championship before today, on course for his best result of the year.
Let's go over there and listen to Tom Gable.
Yeah, so Will Power on those used reds and Christian Lundgaard on the sticker reds, the new tyres, Alex Palou on the new reds as well. Only 2.8 seconds behind. So there's a lot of talk about Power and Lundgaard, but Lundgaard's about to become the contents in this sandwich, which means he's going to be slightly compromised with where he positions his car, because if he goes all out attack against Will Power, then Alex Palou could capitalise if the opportunity was there. So Lundgaard will have to start to drive with one eye in his mirrors, because there is the DHL Chip Ganassi Honda machine of Alex Palou, and he's not going to settle for third. That's not in his DNA. He is 10-10s, and he wants to win every single time he's out on track, and that's why he's won 8 races so far this year. But as it stands, he'd have to pass Christian Lundgaard and Will Power. Power on for the double. He won here last year. Can he take Penske's first win in 2025 now? And can he put a big tick in his box when it comes to saying to Team Penske, listen, I'm the only driver that can win a race in this stable. I want to be here next year. But at the moment, we have 21 laps to go. It's a long time before he can start to think like that, because he's got to stay ahead of the papaya. And as we've seen, and as we heard from Will Power earlier on, these red, softer sidewall tyres will drop off a cliff, and when they do, the balance will go away. We think Christian Lundgaard, after about 18 laps on the tyre, will have the advantage. At the moment, they've got 9 and 10 laps, so in about 8 laps time, it's really going to go the way of Christian Lundgaard and Alex Palou. Can Will Power hang on? As it stands, Graham Rahal 4th, Alexander Rossi 5th, and Callum Ilott in 6th. Big shout out to Callum Ilott, British driver. Had a torrid start to the season, new team of course, with a lot of learning, a lot of fact finding. 8th place, 6th place, and on course for a 6th place here. His last 3 results, 3 top 8 finishes for Callum Ilott and Prema, if it stays like this now.
$20 laps to go here at the Pitnile Grand Prix of Portland. Power leading by less than a second to Lundgaard and Palou, 1.7 back. 3 drivers in the hunt for a race victory, and this is going to be a very entertaining end. I don't know how to call this one, Dom. This is going to be something special. We already know Palou's going to be champion, but how much is he going to want to risk it in order to be crowned champion? He's going to go all in.
Oh, he's going to go all in, 100%. He wants every victory he can get and go after that record, which is set by AJ Foyt and Al Unser Sr. of 10 victories, which they had set back decades since we saw a driver reach a double figure of race wins in INDYCAR. Alex Palou chasing that here, but if he's going to take his 9th win of 2025, he's got to get by Christian Lundgaard and Will Power, and he's got just over 19 laps remaining to make that count. And the hardest part is that he has to do it all on the circuit. All the pit stops are done. Now it's down to the real business. Can Palou pass both the Arrow McLaren and the Team Penske?
Great thing is as well here that we've got 66 seconds exactly for Power and Lundgaard. Palou is at 76 seconds of push to pass, so it's really being a change-up at the moment. We ride with our race leader, who's been stuck behind Marcus Armstrong, who's having one of his worst results here at the Grand Prix of Portland. Here's Radio Lundgaard.
Going up when I'm saving more fuel.
It's a great question.
So fuel window's going up. Am I saving more fuel or am I going for it? So Lundgaard thinks he's got good pace to the end of the race. Let's just see. But yeah, as I was saying, Marcus Ericsson, a 6th, a 7th, and a 7th in 21, in 23 and 24. Worst finish of 11th place here back in 2022 until now. Unfortunately, he's running down 23rd position and fighting hard not to be lapped. He's praying for a caution that would keep him on the lap and bring him back in contention at the front. Joseph Newgarden spun. He has dropped down the lap down. Pato O'Ward had an electrical issue. He's now 25th. Daly crashed out at turn 12 in dramatic fashion, and Santino Ferrucci spun at the exit at the start straight and unfortunately hit the wall backwards. That was early on in the race. We had 3 cautions only, all inside the first 18 laps. Now into the last 18 laps, we've got a 3-way fight for the lead between Power, Lundgaard and Palou. And Palou is closing on that McLaren.
He's a lot closer to Lundgaard than Lundgaard is to Power. Palou has got Lundgaard in his sights, but he needs to be careful not to use his push to pass too soon. He needs to stay on the rear of the Arrow McLaren for when they get onto the pit straight. Once he's within striking range, that's when he can start to consider using that push to pass. Remember, he only has a maximum of 20 seconds of activation before he can wait around for the next time he can use the push to pass. And you can see Lundgaard's using his push to pass to fend off the Chip Ganassi, but the trouble with doing that is that he leaves it a little bit weakened in comparison to what Palou's got in regards to how much battery power he's got with the push to pass. He's got around 76 seconds of push to pass left as Palou compared to Lundgaard's 62.
This is fabulous racing, and it's tactical as well as you're looking at it. You know where you've got to go, you know how you need to both lead in and lead out. Let's look at the rear sliding for Lundgaard. He's in the 6/10 now. Power's being held up massively by Marcus Ericsson. I've got a feeling if Ericsson wasn't in front of Power, he would take off into the distance like we saw earlier on in the race. So this is actually helping Lundgaard above all else. So the Angelic Global squad running in as well. Not feeling the ideal situations right now. Keep looking at the track map to see if it's flashing yellow or green. I keep getting it caught in my eye to think if it's gone yellow or not. There's Kiffin Simpson. He's running in 20 seconds. Ericsson's actually catching for overtake too. And that's bad news, Tom, because then Ericsson, there's no blue flags obviously, but he won't be given command blue because he's in a battle for position. So this now is going to be hurting Power and helping Lundgaard even more, and Palou.
The turbulent air is the last thing Will Power needs at this stage of the race, as he sees Lundgaard and Palou just within 1.5 seconds between the top three. And you can see the lines of which Lundgaard and Palou are taking. Now, they are on similar strategies, it's not like one has a huge advantage over the other, but Alex Palou on his brand new set of alternate red side mark soft tyres, giving it his all. But the trouble is he going to have enough left to really get an overtake done on Christian Lundgaard and go after Palou? Power, sorry.
62 for Power, 58 Lundgaard, 76 still for Palou. So Palou's just sitting comfortably as Power now looks like he might have a go on Marcus Ericsson down towards turn 1. He thinks about it, moves to the inside, can't get through now. 15, 16 and 13, that's the age of Power, Lundgaard and Palou's tyres. They're all relatively the same, but it's going to be worse, as you said, for Will Power. He's stuck in the slower rear, and they'll be using up more of his front tyres as well, so defence is going to be key here. We have 15 laps to go in this insanely complicated race, and I have no idea what's going to happen next. There it is, look, 15 laps to go.
Palou is pushing Lundgaard and Power to use up their push to pass before he uses his, and Lundgaard using his again, as is Power. Palou's not using his push to pass on this straight. Now, Power and Lundgaard only used that for a brief amount of time just to give them a little bit more of an advantage down the straight. But Palou is right there now. He's right there now. He's less than a second off the leader, in fact.
Come on, find it in towards turn number 1. Push the Power down. Anything in towards turn 1? Yeah, Lundgaard's having to go defensive. Palou's got a little bit of a run. Just across that line, you can't find the traction, you can't find the brake zone. You want that zone to get stronger and stronger. Look at that, look, we're so slow at the exit. Palou's got to have insane run into turn 3. I think in the next lap, Tom, it's going to be that Palou's through. Lundgaard's tyres look gone.
Well, I'd be interested to know what his push to pass is now between Power, Lundgaard and Palou.
55 for Lundgaard, 52 Power, 76 still for Palou. He hasn't touched it.
Yeah, Palou didn't touch the push to pass either, so that's great.
He's going for it! He's locked up the inside front tyre. That's going to give Lundgaard the exit. Power coming out into towards turn 9. Now this should go back to Lundgaard. Palou's going to have to stay brave, keep his foot down on the inside. He backs out, tries to keep on the inside. That's not an overtaking opportunity unless you're Alex Palou. No, even then you can't get through. That was bold. He's trying to push Lundgaard into a position, Tom, that he can move out down the straight, but that's just given Power the break he needed.
Oh, I thought that would have been one of the overtakes of the year. And you can see Lundgaard's using more of his push to pass, and Power's still not got by the back markers of Simpson and Ericsson as they come through. So that may be good news for Lundgaard and Palou. Now, the fact that Lundgaard and Palou are fighting with each other is also good news for Power up ahead. And Palou just needs to pass Lundgaard now. If he could do it what he did last time, but make the corner, that second place should be his.
Lundgaard looking a bit slow out of turn number 6. The rear sliding out, breaking into 7. Palou takes the outside line, picks up the late apex, gives you a straighter line on the run down towards turn 9 and 10, where the alternative start-finish line is as well. Only used in the event of a red flag when we need to stop the cars off the track, or in the practice and qualifying session so that the drivers can dive into the pit lane after completing their lap time. Over the line we come then for 12 laps to go here. And it's a fantastic finish we've got. Powers had to back off. He's got 48 seconds. Lundgaard 41. Palou 64 as we come in towards turn 1 of the Shelton Chicane.
Now, Powers got an average of 4 seconds of push to pass per lap if he wants to use it. But he is saving it maybe for the final few laps to ensure that victory is his. Palou's really running out of opportunities now. He's got to get past Lundgaard within the next few laps if he's going to really make light work of Power in the final stages of this Grand Prix of Portland. You could just see Power still held up behind Marcus Ericsson coming out of turns 7 and 8. Lundgaard is actually right on the tail of Power when you think of it, although Palou is still slightly closer.
This is going to be a do-or-die manoeuvre. They've got to take it in a little bit of ease. Into the braking zone once more. Power gets the exit. He's got to have the toe off of Marcus Ericsson. He's using now 43 seconds to push to pass. Lundgaard's down to 40. Palou hasn't touched it since 64. 11 now to go over the line. And look at this. Simpson's now been caught by Ericsson. So Ericsson now is going to be fighting his own battle here. Can he drag Power and the top 3 with him? Got ourselves a situation not too dissimilar to Monaco 2011, because guess what? More traffic ahead being caught now as well. That being the 27 of Kyle Kirkwood, just a couple of seconds up the road as well. In fact, I'd say, what, 1.5 ahead? This is not going to be anything right now. So we've got traffic coming. Well, they're going to need a caution, but we're running out of time for that to even work.
Yeah, I don't even think Palou wants a caution now. I think he wants this to keep going as it is. Power would be happy to have a caution to give him a little bit of a breather. Lundgaard will not want a caution. He wants it to stay green for the rest of this. And the same for Palou as they enter turns 11 and 12 once more onto the pit straight. Lundgaard is there, as is Palou coming out of there. Oh, this is nip and tuck.
This is tight. Look, Lundgaard's looking in his mirrors. He's going to have to stop his Power's now going to go for the move on Marcus Ericsson. Remember, Ericsson doesn't need to give out anything, but he's been compromised. And now he does let the leaders through. Lundgaard, though, got slightly held up because Ericsson was in the middle of the apex at turn 2. But Power now gets ahead. The gap 4 tenths to Lundgaard, 6 tenths to Palou. They're now within a second. The top 3 running within a second. 8 tenths according to our timing screen now. Wow.
Yeah, well, I really feared that Ericsson was going to run into Power at turn 2. I really thought he was going to run into him. Thankfully, he didn't, and he nearly took out Lundgaard and Palou when they were fighting.
Devlin Di Francesco's come into the pit lane according to race control monitors. 10 to go, about to tick down to 9. This is going to get tasty now. 26 seconds of Power, 30 for Lundgaard, a whopping 64 for Alex Palou. Just a reminder, it's a 1 minute 02 lap time. That's 62 seconds anyway. He's got 63. If Palou wanted to, he can push to pass on the entirety of the last lap. So Palou is arguably in the best situation right now. But he's facing another 2-time winner of the Grand Prix of Portland of Will Power, as I said earlier on. 1 in 2019, 1 last year in 2024. It's a situation where he's fighting for his Penske drive for next season. If he's already lost it to Malukas, he's driving to say to other teams, hey, look, I'm still here. I'm still competitive. Don't count me out just yet. But he hasn't won since a year ago right here. 12 months exactly. Whereas
Palou's in a good spot.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, he's lifting off now, but he's going to gas it down the straight. Go on.
And the thing is as well, when you're using that push to pass, you're consuming more fuel. So I'm just conscious of how much fuel Palou will have whilst he's using his push to pass. Power's used his push to pass again to pull away.
So he's got 20 seconds left. He's going to try and get ahead of Kyffin Simpson. He dives to the inside out of the chicane. He does make it through. Palou has not made the advantage, and Simpson immediately gets out of the way of Lundgaard and Palou. That's really going to anger Will Power, who's had to use push to pass to do that, even though he's already out of the way. Don't forget.
Well, Palou used...
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Palou used some of his push to pass on that straight, and now he's right within the wheel tracks of Lundgaard as they approach the hairpin here, but he's still not close enough. Is Alex Palou, but you look at how much push to pass Will Power's got left. He's going to struggle.
Yeah, he's going to be a sitting duck. He can't use that again. Anyone ahead? Yeah, Carl Kirkwood next up the line. So Power's going to have to save those 16 seconds for defence. Lundgaard's got a bit more time to play with.
Let's make them use their...
Palou being told on the radio, let's make them use their push to pass. Palou's got all the cards, but can he stack the deck down into turn 1? Lundgaard does not use that push to pass at all into the Shelton Chicane, but Palou is going to have a better exit. Doesn't even flick it. 53 seconds left.
No.
This is great.
He's going to have to really use it now to his advantage. I mean, 7 laps left, 53 seconds, so he's got round about 7 point... You know, he's got over 7.5 seconds per lap of push to pass if he wants to use it. Alex Palou.
Down we go again, into turn 7. Pedal down again to the middle. I think he's backed off ever so slightly. What's the gap? Palou, 1.5 to Power, 0.3 to Lundgaard. Lundgaard's dropped now 1.2 back to Power. 6 to go at the line. But Power's about to be held up. Don't think that he's going to have any traction here because he can't use the push to pass to get ahead of Carl Kirkwood. 45, 44, so yeah, now down to 43 seconds for Alex Palou. He's used a bit more of that push to pass to keep in the wheel guards with Lundgaard in towards the braking zone, but if he keeps using it, he's going to run out too. It's so tactical.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to be frugal here. He'll probably want Lundgaard to close in on Power as well, so that pushes Power to use up his push to pass, and to the point where Power's going to run out in the final laps.
How Car's ending is this as well? The legend, the rookie, and the champion already battling hard. Power, Lundgaard, and Palou. PLP trying to use PTP. Down we go again in towards turn 9 and 10. We're right on board with Lundgaard. The gap's now less than a second again. Power's got held up by Kyle Kirkwood. Over we go into the last 5 laps of the BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland. Kirkwood's going defensive. Power's going to try and swing around the outside. Kirkwood didn't even make it hard. No blue flag, but Kirkwood doesn't want to get involved in this. Will he pull out and let Lundgaard and Palou through? Because now the gap's back to a second. He's not doing it. He's leaving them.
Did Power use any push to pass when he lapped
13
Kyle
seconds.
Kirkwood?
Yeah, he's used 3 seconds.
Okay.
Lundgaard down to 30. Palou down to 37 though, Tom.
Well, he may as well use what he can
He's
get.
going
He's
for
going
it.
to the side.
Oh, I thought, look, Palou tried to catch Lundgaard unaware because they got past Kirkwood and jumped out of the way. Palou almost dived through on the inside but thought better of it because Lundgaard didn't spot him. It was in the blind spot on the inside line. But now that's going to compromise Palou. Power might have just won the race.
All comes down to this then. 35 seconds of push to pass. We've got 4 laps left. So he's got almost 9 seconds on average per lap of push to pass that Alex Palou can use.
There goes Power, getting ahead of David Malukas. The man who might replace him next year at Penske has now been lapped by the man driving for his career in INDYCAR. How about that for a story that has changed around this weekend? How fantastic for Will Power. He's now down to 8 seconds. I'm sure there's a half smile there on his face.
Very, very intense. And Palou looking to go around the outside this time on Lundgaard. Has he made it work?
No, he's been forced onto the grass and he's going to jump off. Palou's going to have to settle for 3rd place now. Lundgaard completely forces Palou off the circuit. Rahal is going to close in shortly, but I'd be very surprised if Lundgaard gets away with that. forcing Palou off the track and gave him no room. But was he entitled to room?
Well, I thought it was. I thought it was within a car's length alongside was Palou, and I reckon Lundgaard is going to be hit with some form of penalty, and that will make Power's life even more easier as we begin lap number 108, and there goes Lundgaard through on Malukas to lap. But yeah, I don't think that'll be the last of it. I wonder if there'll be a penalty. This is a replay. So Lundgaard held up by Malukas. Palou goes to the outside. He's alongside.
Yeah.
That's naughty from Lundgaard.
It's a difficult part of the track. Look, the off-board angle. Yeah, he could have given him room. He should have given him room. That is naughty from Lundgaard in my book on that front. I agree with you. Oh, look, that's Lundgaard's girlfriend. Knows that was a bit dangerous. Stays in second. The gap 1.6 now between Power and Lundgaard. It's become a two-horse race now in this event. Power's on course for a 45th career win and a third win here in Portland. A circuit which he's dominated at. Pole in 2018, victory 2019 and 2024. Is he about to go back-to-back at the most crucial time of his IndyCar career so far? We have 2 to go. Here at the Raceway, down into turn 1 of the chicane. He's nicely through. I think he's got this one wrapped up. I think he knows it as well. Lundgaard's got 21 seconds left. Go on.
He's got no more back markers to deal with either, JB, so that he should have a free run to the checker flag, and he's not needing to use any of his push to pass on this lap, which means he's only got 8 seconds worth that he can use on the last lap should he need it.
I so wish that I'd stuck with my gut and said that Power would be my pick-a-winner point. He was just tantalising, third on the grid at a circuit he knows best, at a weekend where his career is in doubt. Of course he's going to come through. Who else wouldn't come through? It has to be him. It has to be the 2-time champion from 2014 and 2022 to come through. It is white flag in the air for a story that has got another chapter. White flag in the air for Will Power, who is going to take Penske's only win of the 2025 season. In a critical time when they talk about replacing him, he's shown them who's still the daddy. And Lundgaard is now under pressure from Palou. That's 7
Palou
tenths.
may get through.
He's got all the push to pass left. 12 seconds. He's used it all, Tom, on that last time by.
Well, he may as well use what he's got. He may as well use it.
Well, it's been the running joke coming in this weekend. He was talking to our own Nicole Fry about how he still enjoys driving. He just gets in the car and does it. Joe Samaniego said that as soon as he'd done the interview, he was on the phone, he was talking. All the news that he's been replaced next year at Penske by David Malukas. Well, guess what? He lapped him today. He's put it all back at a time when the will was weak. He needed exactly what his name says. Will Power powers through. Penske's only win for a third time on the street now bearing his name. Power wins at Portland. A 45th win. But let's not turn to an attention. The 2025 champion of IndyCar is Alex Palou. He's done it for a 4th time in his short career. Less than 100 races, and he's a 4-time NTT IndyCar champion. What a race. Definitely of the season. Power fights back for Penske, and Palou is a champion again.
What a race.
Can't believe it. That delivered. That so delivered a Grand Prix title. I hope we don't lose focus on Will Power winning, because that is so critical for his career. And we have to show that Alex Palou is a 4-time champion. How unbelievable is that? Just as a reminder, that's his 96th start in IndyCar, and that is he's a 4-time champion. 21, 23, 24, 25. 3 back-to-back. And he keeps on going with making them just that little bit easier. Wow. That DHL number 10, Chip Ganassi race, has been dominant all year, Tom. You can't deny it. 8 wins, you say. He's got a chance now to match that 10, but not break it. But wow, what a year.
What a year for Chip Ganassi. Yet again, dominating with Alex Palou once again on top. Commiserations to Pato O'Ward after what had been a long race for him since he picked up the technical issues. That opened things up a little bit in the race for second place in the Drivers' Championship. But in this game, no one settles for second position. Where they want to be is where Alex Palou is.
We'll have 2 cars in Parc Ferme as well. One for the champion that will be crowned. You'll get the Astor Cup once more. But Will Power, exactly what his name is exactly what he's needed this weekend. And he has taken a fantastic win. There's 2 separate things for the photographers right now. Do I photograph the champion or the man who's just probably saved his career? Out he comes, and Alex Palou punches the air. He is the 2025 Series champion in an unbelievable manner. What a race. Let's head down and join the celebrations with our colleagues at Fox and Sky.
And the all-time great AJ Foyt with 7. He could have 8 by the time he's 35. He could have 8 by the time he's 32, if we're completely honest.
Less than 100 starts in the IndyCar Series. Already an Indy 500 champion and a 4-time series winner. Those are numbers that remind you of the start of a Hall of Fame career.
I'm delighted for Will Power today as well. But let's hear from the man, not just of the moment, but of this momentous and memorable year. He won first time out at St. Pete. It's another podium today. He has led this championship every step of the way and now confirmed 2025 NTT IndyCar Series champion, 4-time champion. One of the all-time greats, Alex Palou, and he's standing by down there as soon as he gets his cap on with Kevin.
And understandably, he wanted to greet every member of this Chip Ganassi racing team. That's Ricky Davis, who's been one of his key mentors since he came and joined this team and won a championship in 2021. Now it's 4 and 5. I want to strike you with this. Only AJ Foyt and Scott Dixon have won more championships than you. What does that mean?
It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I couldn't be happier right now. This has been an amazing season, an amazing 5 years with CGR. I have no words to describe how grateful I am to everybody at CGR, especially Chip, our partners, and all our fans that have been supporting us throughout the season, throughout these seasons. And to everybody that is new, welcome to the ride. This has been an amazing year, and cannot wait for more.
This is a championship that always comes down to the last race. You have clinched with 2 to go. What have you found on your competitors?
My team, the team I have behind me, all our partners, Honda, that has given us all the power we needed every single weekend. But my team, the car, has been unbelievable. Also today, it was a shame that we couldn't really end it with another win, but we fought it. I gave everything that I had. I tried everything to try and overtake Lundgaard, but I couldn't make it today.
It's still another podium for Alex Palou. It's championship number 17 for Chip Ganassi. That ties Team Penske for the most in IndyCar history.
Let's go!
What a year for Alex Palou. What a year for Chip Ganassi in his 35th year of team leadership. A 17th title.
Well, you can see Hollywood Harvey is down there ready to go. Let's check in with Tom Gamble then.
Well, I've just tweeted that Alex Palou's worst finish of the season on a road course, and it's still a 3rd place, and that is why he's now a 4-time IndyCar champion. But huge plaudits go to Will Power, the driver who still doesn't have a confirmed drive for 2026, the top driver of this season so far in the Team Penske stable, and as far as we are aware, he has no confirmed drive yet at Penske or anywhere else for 2026, and he deserves to be on the grid. Back-to-back victories at Portland for Will Power. Team Penske back in victory lane. And all smiles down at Chip Ganassi, because 3 in a row for Alex Palou, a 4-time NTT IndyCar champion. Also, whilst we're doing shout-outs, shout-out for Alexander Rossi in 5th place, his best finish of the season in his Ed Carpenter car, and also Callum Ilott equaling his best finish of the season. He's got 8th, 6th and 6th in the last 3 races. Callum Ilott and Prema are on the move. But where do we start? With Alex Palou, Barry Wanzer, Mike Cole, Chip Ganassi and the whole team there on the 10 car. It really has been a special season. It's been a special day for that man. And Penske, all smiles, pleased to be back where they feel they belong, back in victory lane. It's been a hot day, hard work for the drivers, 110 laps around Portland, a few split strategies and a cracking race at the end there. Christian Lundgaard made it stick in 2nd place. Alex Palou couldn't get by the papaya, and his 3rd, 2nd place finish of the season so far, and I'm sure that's going to move him past Carl Kirkwood in the points, heading to Milwaukee in 2 weeks' time.
Welcome back to the NTT IndyCar Series live on Fox from Portland. Let's take a look at the Advanced Auto Parts checkered flag moment, and what a moment for Will Power. 1 year on from his last victory in the championship, he wins again at Portland and deservedly showed not just an offensive race, but a masterclass in defense as well. A brilliant drive. How does Roger Penske make the decision, if that is the decision that he is to take, to drop that man? So often and for so long, that team's talisman and leader. It's another victory for Will Power, and Jack Harvey got the immediate race reaction.
Will Power, back-to-back winners here in Portland. So much unknown about your future. Can you just put into words what that win means today?
I think it's just a big win for all the team, man. I mean, we've had a rough year, and it's not really because we've been off the pace. It's just been unfortunate circumstances. I've had 2 engine failures, a tyre failure, so it's a good hard-fought win. You know, it kind of split that strategy at the beginning. We picked the strategy to run hard, pull enough of a gap, and a bit dicey at the end there, but yeah, man, just stoked. I've had a great career with Verizon and Penske, so I really enjoy winning for the guys and everyone I've worked with for a long time, so it's awesome.
Congratulations, man. I hope it carries on. Well done.
Second place in a row for Christian Lundgaard. You had an incredible battle with now the 4-time IndyCar champion, Alex Palou. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, obviously we got the pole yesterday. We had an engine penalty, put us back to P7. I knew the pace was in the car. I think if we would have started further up, I think the result would have been a little different today. I think we could have had power. Yeah, we gave it everything we had. Obviously, I don't really know what's happened to Pato yet. I mean, it's just unfortunate for the 5 cars. So at least we could pick up some of the pieces. You
really gave it all you had, ran out of fuel after the checkered flag, had to be towed back here to pit lane. How much of a team effort was it today?
I mean, all weekend. I think everybody's recharged so much throughout last week, the week off, and you know, I said it a couple of days ago, there's no racing without the truckies, there's no racing without the mechanics, so to have 2 P2s in a row is nice, but it's also really annoying, because that means we were first loser twice.
Hey, that means on to Milwaukee, right?
Of course, we have two races more.
Thanks, Christian.
You can sense that frustration, and he was the fastest man in qualifying, of course, had that penalty in his pocket for the engine change. You kind of felt like today was going to be his day, but when you come across a driver Like Will Power, of that experience and of that quality, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. There is your champion, Alex Palou. But here's your full results from the Grand Prix of Portland. Power, Lundgaard and Palou, your podium. But I have to say, what a result for Graham Rahal. What a drive from Alexander Rossi for his first top 5 of the season. And Callum Ilott, another top 6 for Prema.
Yeah, some great stories there, some clever strategy, especially Graham Rahal to make that earlier stop work down the stretch. Further through the field, James, a lot of these guys produce drama knowing that they need a result late in the season.
The one I'm looking at here is 13th Louis Foster and 15th Robert Schwartzman, locked in that tight Rookie of the Year championship battle, finishing close together once again.
And on a day when Will Power started on the second row and finished first, David Maluka started on that second row, finished 19th. A tough day, of course, for Pato O'Ward, classified 25th. But having started from the pole, it was always going to be a long shot to take this title on to the next race. Nothing he could do about that electronics issues.
Yep, sadly, that was the case coming into it as well. What a day, what a event. And I exploded straight on the FaceTime as well to his family and friends, and hopefully his baby girl as well will be there. Only 2 more races to go then, Tom. What's your final thoughts coming in for what has been an absolutely insane day?
Well, it's been a day to remember for Spanish motorsport, not in Formula 1, but in INDYCAR. Alex Palou, a 4-time champion. Only 2 drivers have won more INDYCAR titles than him. And it's on to Milwaukee next. Can he make it 9 wins this season and equal Mario Andretti's record, or the 3rd highest in INDYCAR history?
Yeah, it's going to be quite an entertaining run. I just had to point out, by the way, that USON, Grid Network, and JB Motorsports have been on air now for 3 hours and 51 minutes. We've been on air 1 hour, 2 minutes longer than the entire Fox broadcast. Just saying, who do you really want to come to each week in order to have your coverage? Just a bit of housekeeping then. You can join Joe Sammiego, Nicole Fry and Jackson Lambros for the Sunday wrap-up and all the post-race interviews on the Grid Network YouTube channel. That's at Grid Network TV on YouTube. The link is in the description below in order to catch up on all the action from the final few hours. The Grid Live post-race show is coming up at 7:30 Eastern, recapping both the NASCAR race from Watkins Glen and the INDYCAR race here from Portland. INDYCAR will be up first. And we will be back on JB Motorsports next weekend for MotoGP action and British touring cars. But it's 2 weeks until we go for the final 2 races onto the ovals as well. We'll be at Milwaukee and then over to Nashville. My thanks to Tom and to JT for joining me in the comms box this weekend as well. What a fantastic weekend we have had here. A delight and pleasure as always to call the races on the Grid Network at their home event. And what a champion we've crowned. Alex Palou is the 2025 INDYCAR Series champion. He's 4th in less than 96 career starts. But I think the biggest winner from today should be Will Power. A weekend where everybody has been questioning if it's going to be his last season at Penske or even in INDYCAR. He comes out and makes that statement. I know it's cheesy, but that took some willpower. Bye-bye.